Good evening, and we're underway at South Warren High School. They tipped off about a minute early. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders, the Warren County Public School Sports Network. Greenwood won the opening tip, and they are visiting South Warren in a girls-boys basketball doubleheader. We will get you caught up here, but again, we're in the first 30 seconds of the game, still waiting for our first points of the game. Steve, as always, great to have you along.
Thanks. This is going to be a great night of basketball. These two ladies' teams right here are very well matched.
Leah Trin with the three-point attempt, no good, but Kayla Grant there for the rebound, but she stepped out of rebound. Yep. Greenwood comes in with 5 straight wins and a season record of 11-6. South Warren is 7-10 on the season, and as Steve has touched upon, something's got to give tonight because every game we've live streamed these two teams, Steve, the winning team.
Won.
Yeah, they won. Yep.
Somebody's going to still like us and somebody's not.
That's right. The boys' game to follow between the Spartans and the Gators, and we will talk more about that later in the evening before the game tips off. As Mila Moonrath has the ball right now for the Lady Spartans. Also on the floor for the Lady Spartans, Grace Maxwell, McLean Hudson, Kaya Mitchell, and Lydia Frank. Starting for Greenwood, Leah Trin, Kayla Grant, JoJo McCorkle, Ella Whittle, and Avery Overmole. Still waiting for our first points of the game. We've played about a minute and 20 seconds. Again, the boys' game to follow. You're watching and listening to the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network, courtesy of Prep Spin. Nice pass right there. And Leah Trin is going to go to the line for 2 shots. Steve, Trin might be shooting the free throws, but a player you and I have really been impressed with on Greenwood who made the pass there is Kayla Grant.
Yeah, Kayla Grant and Taquita Garrett tonight's going to be a great matchup.
It is.
They're both fine quality inside players.
So we have our first points of the game as Trin hits on the free throw. Congratulations to her recently passing the 2,000 career point mark. Kayla Grant also passed the 1,000 career point mark recently.
They did it on the same night, didn't they?
They sure did. Thank you, Steve. You're right. They sure did. And that's a nice scoop and score there by Grace Maxwell. And it is tied at 2. We've played nearly 2 minutes in the game. Trin with the drive. Oh, wow. Steve,
off the glass.
I love it when players make good use of that backboard. That backboard's your friend. Bucket by Trin. She scored the first 4 points in the game for the Lady Gators. Yeah, you're right, Steve. Same night that Leah Trin passed the 2,000 career point mark and Kayla Grant passed the 1,000 career point mark. So the Lady Spartans will inbound.
Nice save there.
Yep. And that is McLean Hudson getting it to Frank. Frank the 3. No.
So Greenwood in a 2-3 zone.
Yep.
Start out the game.
And Grant has the rebound, and she loses it. And great hustle by both teams. They call a jump ball, and the arrow's going to go South Warren's way. 4 players on the floor, Steve.
Right.
Got to applaud the effort there.
Coaches are liking that early.
Speaking of the coaches, a couple of terrific coaches on the respective benches.
Absolutely. Those guys great.
Zach Simpson for Greenwood and Lane Embry for South Warren. A lot of mutual respect for those two coaches.
Greenwood with a little token pressure early.
Now, one change that South Warren has in the starting lineup since we've last seen him is Hudson shoots for 3, and that's short. Greenwood with the rebound is Gracie Hodges is not starting tonight. She is in uniform. And when we've seen them earlier in the season, Gracie Hodges has had some big games. So Greenwood will inbounds. They have an early 4-2 lead, 5:09 to go in the first quarter. Boys game to follow. South Warren in a man-to-man.
We don't see a lot of that around here. See a lot of zone defense around. But
good rebound there by Kaya Mitchell. And here come the Lady Spartans. We're just underway. 4:46 to go in the first quarter, and Greenwood leads South Warren 4-2. Mila Moonrath gets it over to Lydia Frank. Lydia's dad, Alan Frank, is one of the assistant coaches on the bench for Coach Embry. Coach Embry's brother, Brett Embry, is one of the other assistant coaches. And there's the three-point attempt by Frank. Oh, yeah.
Nice shot.
Nothing but net, and that gives the home team a 5-4 lead.
She's a couple of steps back past the arc also.
Kayla Grant with a nice spin move. That's just a nice move, Steve.
Yeah, she's got good footwork and soft hands.
6'5" Greenwood. Want to thank our sponsors tonight, Med Center Health, UK Healthcare, and Mingy Beef Jerky. Pass inside
good
to Grace Maxwell.
Pass.
Oh, yeah.
Good pass.
Yep. Maxwell will go to the line for a conventional three-point play as South Warren has regained the lead. They're up 7-6, and Maxwell will try to extend that lead to 2. Steve mentioned just a moment before we came on tonight, nice crowd already arriving tonight for the doubleheader. And they'll follow more and more. We'll also try to update you tonight. Warren Central has a girls-boys basketball doubleheader at Bowling Green, and we'll try to give you some updates on that if time permits and we get that information available to you. So Maxwell makes the free throw, and it's 8-6 South Warren. Grant, nice. She's got good balance to her game, Steve.
Yeah. And Mike, the last few games we've watched around the area have been some slow starts, but both these teams off to a good start.
Yep. Gracie Hodges is checked into the game for South Warren. Frank with a drive, no, but Hudson.
Good rebound.
Wow. McLean Hudson goes down and gets the offensive rebound and puts it back up, and the Lady Spartans are back in front. They're leading 10-8. Trin, nicely done. And we get a timeout here, and I think this is a timeout by Zach Simpson. We'll keep it here, and I think you know what he's on him about, Steve? Guarantee you.
Rebound and defense.
There you go. McLean Hudson is the shortest player on the court. Credit to her. But
yeah, he's hot.
Yes. There's no strategy going on in this timeout. And Steve, you and I, he won't mind us saying this. After that recent game we live streamed against Warren Central, he's really emphasized in practice working on rebounding.
Yes.
We're tied at 10. South Warren will have the ball. Steve, this has been a fun start to this game.
It's been a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many fouls to break the flow of the game.
Yep.
Both teams scoring well.
And here's full court pressure by Greenwood. Moonrath has the ball.
You know, we did a game earlier in the week, Mike, where it was more like a baseball score than a basketball score.
Uh-huh. The Warren East Grayson County game. Mm-hmm. Moonrath, the nice pass down low, and they're going to get a foul there. Nicely done. Ashley Overbay was the recipient of the pass. It's a non-shooting foul. Both teams have committed 2 fouls. So South Warren will inbounds. And also checking in, that's, I stand corrected, that was Mila Moonrath inbounding. Shot by Frank, no good, but Hodges, one of the better rebounders. In fact, she might be South Warren's best rebounder. Greenwood gets it, though, and here they come.
Not sure about that pass,
Yep.
Mike. There's a lot of traffic to throw that ball through.
Especially a bounce pass, yeah. So, anyway, it goes back to the direction of the Lady Spartans.
Again, Greenwood puts on a little bit of pressure just to make them handle the ball.
Jessica Peterson is checked in for Greenwood. Nice pass by Mitchell, down low to
Nice
Moonrath.
pass.
Very nice. And that's going to result in Coach Simpson going to the bench. He's going to bring Ella Whittle back in. So we're South Warren has a 12-10 lead with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. McCorkle, they're going to get her for traveling.
Too many steps.
Yep. Well, Steve, after the game earlier this week in which South Warren lost to Edmonson County in a low-scoring game, both teams ended in the 30s. Scoring 12 points in the first 7 minutes is exactly, first 6 minutes I should say, exactly what the Lady Spartans need. That shot attempt by Ashley Overbay is no good, and the Lady Gators get the rebound. Grant, the drive. They're going to get her for a travel.
Too.
Yep.
Good idea. Just took one too many steps.
So South Warren will inbound with a 2-point lead. We are in the latter moments of the first quarter. We still have a minute and a half to go. Trin pressuring Hudson. Nice drive by Hudson.
Gave her the lane.
And South Warren is 14-10 with the lead. Hudson got by Trin and had a clear path to the basket. Here goes Trin, and they're going to get a foul. She's going to go to the line for 2. And I'll tell you what, Steve, the one thing with Trin, she's taking to the ball to the basket early, and if she starts to shoot three-point attempts, again, I think she shoots better from three-point range when she goes to the basket early.
Right. We talked about that the other night with Coach Simpson.
Yeah. First free throw attempt is good. And Grace Maxwell checks back in for South Warren. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders, Warren County Public School Sports Network. We're late in the first quarter as Trin converts both free throws. And it's 14-12 South Warren. And the Lady Spartans will bring it up. And the one thing you're encouraged about if you're a South Warren fan, see, they've gotten inside baskets so far in this game. Hudson, the 3. Oh, just off the mark, but there's Moonrath. She gets the offensive rebound, the putback, and it's 16-12 South Warren. And I don't think it's, you don't need to be a genius to figure out what Coach Simpson's going to talk about at this first quarter break, Steve.
They're getting hammered on the boards.
Boy. They're going to get McCorkle with the travel.
It's about 3 travels out of 4 possessions.
So, South Warren will have the ball with a 4-point lead. And Lydia Frank will check back in. Ashley Overbay comes out. As South Warren looks like they'll hold to the final shot of the quarter. Yep. And Greenwood's back in his zone. That's Maxwell. Back over to McLean Hudson. That's Lydia Frank with the ball. Inside to Hodges. Nicely done.
Nice move. You know, that interior passing they've done well so far tonight, South Warren has.
It really has. Trin's three-point attempt no good. The heave at the buzzer. There's still a tenth of a second left. So South Warren, they're getting them back out there, will inbound the ball. I don't think they can get a shot attempt off, Steve. Yep, there you go. So a good quarter for South Warren.
Possession, you just have to be a volleyball shot.
Yep. 18-12. South Warren leads Greenwood after the first quarter. We'll take a short timeout. We'll be right back with more girls basketball on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
right, welcome back to South Warren High School, where the Lady Spartans are off to a strong start in the first quarter. They lead Greenwood 18-12, and Steve, South Warren has already reached half of the points they scored against Edmonson County earlier this week.
Right, they've come out strong tonight. Early on they hit a couple of three-pointers. They had some great interior passing, and quite frankly, that passing's led to some easy scores. Greenwood's going to have to tighten up the defense. They're going to have to help. And I imagine that's what Coach Simpson's telling them. Besides the you better rebound a little more, we're going to be practicing that again. Nice shot. Good answer by Kayla Grant.
It really was. And Steve, she just has a well-rounded game. She can score inside. She can score from the perimeter. That makes it 18-14.
From the free throw line down, she's really effective.
So it's a 4-point lead for the Lady Spartans. Frank will wind up from three-point range. Nicely done.
They can't leave her like that.
No.
I'm sure Coach Simpson doesn't need me to say that. He already knows it, but they cannot leave her open on the perimeter.
South Warren with their biggest lead in the game of 7. Greenwood led very early on, and then it went back and forth a little bit. Mitchell with the rebound for South Warren. The Lady Spartans are off to a really good start. We've played a little over a minute in the second quarter, and South Warren with the ball, leading 21-14. Frank again, in and out. Moonrath had the rebound. It was taken away from her by Ella Whittle. Here comes Trin. 3. Yes.
That's what you talked about earlier, Mike. When she goes to the rim early and then goes to the three-point shot after that, she's much more effective.
21-17, South Warren after the three-pointer by Trin. I'll tell you what, Steve, South Warren, Moonrath had another good look at the hoop there. South Warren has found definitely a hole in that zone defense.
That's what I was going to say. Greenwood's playing that zone, but South Warren's bringing a player to the elbow, and from there that player's either getting a free lane to the rim or they're making a great interior pass.
South Warren's Ashley Overbay did a nice job there drawing the charge. So the Lady Spartans get the ball back with a 4-point lead. On the court for South Warren, McLean Hudson, Ashley Overbay, Lydia Frank, Gracie Hodges, and Kaya Mitchell. Mitchell has the ball. She's a left-hander. She gets it out to Frank. Well, Hudson thought about firing from three-point range. Instead passed it over to Frank. Now it's over to Overbay. See, there you go, Steve. Get that ball down in the lane. Hodges.
Just didn't get it to fall, but it was a good shot.
Boy, Coach Embry, he thought the refs missed a foul. He is not a happy coach right now. Trend from 3, no.
She's about 3 steps back from the arc.
Mm-hmm. So here come the Spartans with a 21-17 lead. That's Frank with the ball out in the court. Hodges over to Overbay. Frank. McLean Hudson. Now it's back to Hodges. Yep, that's a Hodges shot. Boy, had a great look at it, just a little bit long. Here come the Gators with a chance to get within 2 and perhaps 1. That's Grant. And they pass it out. That shot is good.
Good ball movement.
That's Avery Martin. Some contact there, no call. And it resulted in a baseline jumper by Avery Martin, and Greenwood is within 2. Hodges inside to Mitchell, kicks it over to Frank. Another good look, but it's off the mark. Here comes Grant with the rebound out to Trin. Trin kicks it over to McCorkle. Greenwood has a chance to tie, perhaps take the lead. That shot's no good, and Hudson's got the rebound. Of course, Hudson, her uncle, is the outstanding volleyball coach at WKU. Travis Hudson. Speaking of,
he's here tonight.
He is. He and his lovely wife. Their son, Drew, is the second leading scorer on the South Warren boys basketball team. And Steve, we'll talk more about this, but Carlos Corals, the South Warren boys basketball coach, he really has that Spartans team playing well.
They do. They are.
They're off to a 13-2 start this season.
We haven't seen him in a few weeks, and I'm anxious to see him play tonight.
Mm-hmm. All right, checking in is Abby Walker for Greenwood, and
she step out?
She did, yes. To borrow Steve's word, the turnovers have been a bugaboo early for Greenwood. 3 traveling calls, stepping out of bounds, and South Warren's trying to capitalize on it. Moonrath is checked back in for South Warren. Her shot is blocked. Nice block right there by Alex Doig. I stand corrected, that was Grayson Nealon with the block. Trin with the nice drive. Shot is just off the mark. Goes out of bounds. It's going to be South Warren ball. Good. Mike Cleff and Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. Courtesy of Prep Spin, we'll run down the options you can watch and listen to our live stream. We're in the first game of a doubleheader between Warren County Public Schools rivals. South Warren with the ball, leading 21-19. That three-point attempt, no, but Kaya Mitchell gets the rebound. She's going to go up with it, and
nice
nicely done.
Under. Really nice move inside.
Kaya Mitchell will go to the line for a conventional three-point play. You're right.
I mean, that's you know, that's a great move for any player at the high school level. But that was smooth, and she was right on target.
To echo Steve's comment, absolutely right, and she'll try to finish the three-point play, but not quite. And the Lady Gators get the rebound. That's Ella Whittle coming away with the rebound. They're going to get a timeout, and we'll keep it right here, Steve. Coach Simpson has called a couple of timeouts here, and this and he's getting a sub in here. He's getting Kayla Grant back in.
Yeah, he needs her back in.
Yeah. Coach Simpson won't mind us passing this along, but we were talking to him off air earlier in the week. His respect for South Warren is genuine, and he was really worried about this game, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've talked for a long time after watching both these teams that they're both very evenly matched. It's 23-19 South. This game by no stretch is over. Both coaches would probably agree strongly with that. There's a lot of basketball to go tonight.
Well, Steve, 2 players who I think really elevate this Greenwood team, who so far have been pretty quiet, are Ella Whittle and JoJo McCorkle. And hopefully Coach Simpson would like to see that go the other direction.
McCorkle can be a very effective outside three-point shooter, and she's just been completely quiet tonight, which could be due in large part to South playing some really good defense.
Well, that's a shooter's bounce, Steve.
Yeah, I thought it hit the top of the backboard, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I thought it did too, Steve, but it counts, and it's just a one-point game. That's McLean Hudson for 3. It's a little bit long. They're going to get South Warren on a foul.
Yeah.
So Greenwood has a chance to take the lead here.
South going to bring their players up, put some pressure on. Into McCorkle.
That's Whittle dribbling it up court. There's some contact there. Nope, they said she stepped out of bounds. Coach Simpson thought there was some contact, but they called it out of bounds, and so it's South Warren ball. Lady Spartans have been on a bit of a dry run. They've had some good looks. The shots just haven't gone in. Kayla Grant checked in during the timeout for Leah Trin, and Trin's going to check back in here at the next dead ball situation. That's Gracie Hodges with the ball, one of the South Warren seniors. Mila Moonrath now has the ball, another South Warren senior. Hudson is a freshman. There's Grace Maxwell. That shot, no. Moonrath gets the rebound, goes up. That's Mila Moonrath, Steve. She's your glue player. She does a little bit of everything very well. And here comes Ella Whittle. And she loses the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, that might have been a situation where she should have just pulled up, regrouped, and started an offensive set over.
Yep. Well, Steve, I think this is a tale of two coaches at halftime. We have 1:19 left. South Warren with a 25-22 lead. I think Lane Embry has to be very happy with his team, and I think Zach Simpson, has to be frustrated with some parts of his team. He's glad they're only down 3, but
they need to rebound better.
You hit the proverbial nail right on the head. Hudson, 3-point attempt long, and there you go, Steve. You're a prophet. Gracie Hodges with the offensive rebound.
There's a player at the elbow.
Yep. That's Lydia Frank. They're out there guarding her, and that's a good move because she definitely has 3-point range. That ball's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be Greenwood ball.
I think that's the kind of thing that Coach Embry's not going to be real thrilled with, those unforced turnovers.
They're killers, aren't they?
They are
killers.
You string a couple of those together, and it just breaks your momentum.
We have 36 seconds to go in the first half. South Warren with a 3-point lead over Greenwood, 25-22. The Lady Gators have the ball.
I think, South Warren had the momentum early in this game, and then at this point I would say that nobody really has the momentum.
And let's see there, I think.
Call her travel. Coach Simpson is not happy.
Yep. No, he is not. It looked like for a moment Grant made the shot and was going to go to the line for a free throw, but they called a travel. So it's 25-22. And Steve, as he alluded to, Coach Simpson not happy with that call. So here come the Lady Spartans. And they're definitely holding for the last shot with 6 seconds left to go. Oh, boy. Greenwood gets the ball. They're going to try to get off a last-second shot. McCorkle, no. So that's the half. 25-22 South Warren leading Greenwood. And, Steve, after a fast-paced first quarter, things kind of slowed down in the second quarter, but still a very interesting first half.
It was. We're going to go in. Greenwood down by 3. It's anybody's game.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick break. We're at halftime. South Warren leading Greenwood 25-22. You are watching and listening to girls basketball on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom!
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Good, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
All right, welcome back to South Warren High School. One thing that I wanted to make sure we mentioned before the conclusion of this game is, Steve, we're going to have an extended intermission between the two games tonight because it's South Warren's homecoming.
I thought that.
As we watch the South Warren dance team perform. So, Steve, we've got a 25-22 South Warren halftime lead here over Greenwood at halftime of the girls' game. Let's talk about the boys' game. We haven't seen South Warren for a while. We've seen Greenwood a lot recently.
Yeah.
Let's start with the Gators. They're coming off a win in what was a very interesting contest led by Luke Stansberry, 32 points, and they had to overcome a 35-point effort by Butler County's Ty Price, who, of course, the previous season played right here at South Warren High School. So, Steve, entered, a fun game the other night. But
Greenwood's got to find some offense besides Stansberry. Stansberry is going to get his points. He's an excellent outside shooter. He looked great the other night. But, Pettis is great getting to the rim. He's a great interior passer when he gets to the rim. I hope he'll continue to be aggressive like that. And I think good things will happen if he's aggressive like that. But they've got to find another outlet for points. To be perfectly honest, and, the other night we certainly were rooting for Greenwood in that game. But that game came down to free throws. Greenwood won that game at the free throw line. They didn't win it out in the open court. Butler County made some really poor fouls a long way from the basket late in that game. And hats off to Greenwood. They hit their free throws. And hitting those free throws put that game away. And, it's unfortunate that a game gets decided like that, but, I don't know any other way to describe Butler County's fouls. Those were poor choices when you're 75 feet away from the goal and you have a reach-around foul. That's not going to end well.
And the Gators, as Steve mentioned, they capitalized on those free throws. Stansberry, I think, Steve, of Luke Stansberry 32 points. He had 8 free throws in the fourth quarter.
He had at least 6, maybe 8. Asher Pettis had some free throws that were clutch. I know right at the end he had a couple of free throws that made it a 4-point game. And, they've just got to find that, and they've got to find that scoring, and they've got to find some rebounding. Greenwood is a long, tall team. They should look better on the boards than they looked the other night. I'm sure Coach McCoy's over the last couple of days probably explained that to them. South Warren, it has been. It's been since a week or so before Christmas break that we saw South Warren, and they look good when we saw them, and I would expect Coach Q to have continued to make improvement as a team from then. So I'm excited to see them tonight.
Steve, the last time we saw South Warren boys basketball, in fact, it's the only time, was a win on December 6th over Franklin Simpson.
All right, so it's been a month and a week.
And you mentioned Coach Q, his first year as head coach of the Spartans. We talked about how much respect he has. We're not surprised South Warren's 13-2.
No.
What a nice start they're off to.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be a good game. I think Greenwood's going to have their hands full. I think if Greenwood's going to win, it's going to come down to rebounding. It's going to come down to defense for them. Probably more on the rebounding end than anything.
That's right. We are at halftime of the girls' game. Tonight's doubleheader. First game, South Warren leading Greenwood 25-22. We'll take another timeout. We'll talk more hoops right after this break. You're watching the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Yeah, we're going to take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Is Sam coming to the game tonight? Is Sam coming to the game tonight?
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom!
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Welcome back to South Warren High School. We're at halftime of the first game of the doubleheader tonight. South Warren leading Greenwood 25-22 in girls basketball. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. Steve, let's start with on the South Warren side. Put yourself in Lane Embry's shoes, their head coach. How are you feeling about how your team played in the first half and where things stand?
Well, me personally, I think I'd feel good, but I think Coach Embry would like to have more than a 3-point lead at halftime. And I think, there were some turnovers that happened, a couple of fouls. I think there's a little tiny bit of margin for error, but let's not discount that both these teams played a great first half. Both teams really started out hot. I thought we were going to have a really high-scoring game, maybe up into the 40s by halftime, but both teams kind of hit that, and that's what I was talking about earlier. I think South Warren had the momentum early in the game, and then from early to mid-second quarter on the rest of the half, I don't think anybody really had the momentum. I think both teams had a spurt here, spurt there, but nobody was just running away with it.
Now, on the other side, put yourself in Zach Simpson's shoes, the head coach of the Lady Gators. How are you feeling about the Greenwood team?
You got to rebound. You got to defend the three-point line. Absolutely. We gave Lydia Frank at least 2 3-pointers and countless good looks at the rim. You got to rebound and you got to play 3-point defense. You got to defend the 3-point line.
We're about a little less than a minute away from the start of the third quarter, as the Lady Spartans will have the ball to start the second half. Possession arrow going their way. South Warren has led most of this game. Greenwood had a lead early in the game, then it went back and forth, and then South Warren stretched it out and led by as many as 9. They led by 6 after the first quarter, and Greenwood got within a point in the second
it was down
quarter.
to 1.
Yep.
But they just couldn't get over that. It's always interesting to see what adjustments both coaches make at halftime. And,
yep.
Like I said, 25-22, this game belongs to either team. And it's going to see, it'll be interesting to see who comes out hot first in this second half. Usually you think of it, it's the team that's down comes out and tries to put pressure on the other team, but it's such a close match right now.
It's Lydia Frank with the ball out front for South Warren as the Lady Spartans lead by 3. We're just underway in the second half, and that's McLean Hudson.
Greenwood almost in a man-to-man defense right now. They are making some switches.
Kaya Mitchell, a 3-point attempt, a little bit long, and there's Grant, Kayla Grant with the rebound. Gets it over to Leah Trent, and here come the Lady Gators.
She goes back to the rim again.
She does. Oh, just a little bit off the mark, and that's Mitchell with the rebound, gets it to Hodges. And so the Lady Spartans with the ball in a 3-point lead. And Steve's right, they are in a man-to-man after playing zone pretty much the entire first half.
They almost have to guard against that 3-point shot. What a great pass.
Wow. That was a very nice pass off the backdoor cut by Mila Moonrap. The pass by Kaya Mitchell. 27-22 South Warren. And there's...
can't throw a pass across the court like that.
They're just so risky, Steve.
It's just too much ground to cover with the ball before somebody jumps in the passing lane.
They get a foul on Greenwood after the steal by South Warren.
That makes it even worse. When you turn it over and then commit a foul again 45 feet from the goal.
So South Warren has the ball with a 5-point lead. They're up 27-22. There's Hodges with the runner. Nicely done.
All right, we talked about a team making a run early, and it looks like it's going to be South Warren right now.
And I think coming in, there's Grant with the shot, no good, and there's Moonreth with the rebound. I think coming into this game, most people thought that Greenwood would be favored in this game. But at the same time, Steve, if you said that South Warren would have a lead in the third quarter, it would not be a shock. I mean, the Lady Spartans are perfectly capable of winning this game, and right now they're up by 7. There's Moonrath with the drive, and she's going to go to the line for a couple of free throws. Just, I'll tell you what, Steve, I can't say enough good things about Mila Moonrath. Just, just does a little bit of everything, and just so well-rounded. She's kind of under the radar when you compare her to Gracie Hodges or McLean Hudson, but contributes so much to this Lady Spartans team, and she contributes 2 free throws there. Trin will try the 3. No. Grant fighting for the rebound, but Hodges, who's a very good rebounder, grabs it. And, Steve, the Lady Spartans have a chance to go up by double digits here.
Score here. Coach Simpson's going to have to look for a timeout.
Yep. There's Mitchell. She gets it over to Hodges. Hodges kicks it out to Frank. We've played a little more than 2.5 minutes here in the third quarter. Greenwood still looking for their first points. South Warren has scored the first 6 points of the third quarter. That's Moonrath, one of the South Warren seniors, with the ball out front. That's Hudson, who's also a standout softball player for the Lady Spartans. Mitchell for 3, no. Frank with the rebound. Oh, boy, Steve. And Coach Simpson just, you don't see him on camera, but he is not a happy head coach. It's that rebounding. Greenwood does get the ball back, and here comes Trin with the runner. Boy, the Lady Gators needed that badly, Steve. So it's a 7-point margin for South Warren. And let's see if the Lady Gators can capitalize that and swing the momentum their way. Hodges drives it, kicks it over to Mitchell. Yep. She's going to go to the line for 2. Tell you what, Steve, South Warren has done a really nice job passing. They haven't forced things. First half, they attacked that zone, got the ball in the middle of the lane. Hodges was double-teamed there, kicked it over to Mitchell. She makes the first free throw. As Ashley Overbay checks in for Mila Moonrath and Avery Martin, or excuse me, I should say,
Peterson in for the Gators.
Yes, Jessica Peterson is in, and Jenna Lindsay checked in for Lydia Frank, and now Grace Maxwell is in for Kaya Mitchell. Yeah, I was looking, and yeah, thank you, Steve. Jessica Peterson has checked into the game for Greenwood. So the lineup for Greenwood is Kayla Grant, Ella Whittle, Leah Trin, Jessica Peterson, and JoJo McCorkle. McCorkle for 3. There you go. There you go.
Said that was missing the entire first half.
Greenwood within 6, halfway through the third quarter. South Warren 33, Greenwood 27. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. And what was that, Steve?
Turnover.
There you go. So the Lady Gators will try to cut this deficit to 4 and perhaps 3. Plenty of time left. We still have 3:50 left in the third quarter and, of course, the entire fourth quarter. And, of course, Leah Trin with the ball out front for the Lady Gators. There's Peterson with the baseline drive. And a good block by Hodges, and how do you like that? She saves it.
Peterson got herself in a tough spot down there.
Hodges gets it over to Hudson. She'll get it over to Maxwell. Maxwell will shoot from 3. No. And there's Hudson. And
Coach Simpson just puts his hand over his head because they gave up another offensive rebound. South Warren's getting at least 2 shots for every possession if they don't make the first one.
McLean Hudson gives South Warren an 8-point lead, and now the Lady Spartans get the defensive rebound, and with 3 minutes to go, they will try to push their lead up, and they're going to get a foul there. Steve, I'll tell you one thing that to watch as far as the development here. Greenwood has committed 4 fouls in the second half. South Warren hasn't committed a foul yet. So McLean Hudson will come out for a quick breather, and Ashley Overbay checks in for her. Jenna Lindsay gets it over to Overbay. The pass to Hodges. Finds Moonrath. Lindsay over to Moonrath. That's going to be Overbay with the three-point attempt. No. Greenwood gets the rebound. That's Peterson. Here comes Leah Trin. Inside to Grant. Shot. Good. You know, Steve, when they get the ball inside to her, or even get her a touch, good things happen.
Especially that deep in the lane.
Yep. So Greenwood back within 6, 35-29, South Warren leading. 2:15 to go in the third quarter. Overby will try another three. Oh, yeah.
You know, they played that man-to-man for a while to shut down the three-point, and then they come back into a zone, and there you go.
I think they're going to get a foul before the shot there by Leah Trin when she was driving to the basket. South Warren's first foul in the second half. It'll be on Jenna Lindsay. And South Warren is subbing back in Ty Garrett along with McLean Hudson and Lydia Frank. So Trin will try the three-pointer. No, it's long. Rebound. I believe that's Peterson, Steve.
And we have one Greenwood girl under the goal rebounding and 5 South Warren girls under the goal rebounding. The other 4 Greenwood girls are at half court. That's not going to work out well.
Peterson was called for traveling after she fell to the ground after grabbing the rebound, and Steve's exactly right.
I might have a different opinion of that, but I'm not the one making the calls.
Yeah. That's Lydia Frank's shot, no good, and here's the rebound by Ella Whittle.
That's a smart thing to do. Slow it down, get in your offense. Don't try to force it when you don't have the numbers.
Again, plenty of time left in this game.
Nobody there to rebound.
Yep. That's Grace Maxwell with the rebound, and South Warren has stretched the lead back out to 9, and they have the ball with 1:20 to go in the third quarter. South Warren has played the game at their pace. That's McLean Hudson. A little bit off the mark. That's going to go off South Warren. Oop. They say that the ball went off Greenwood.
I agreed with you. I thought the South Warren player knocked it out of her hands, but again, I'm not Steve Sanders, not making a call.
and that would make 2 of us, Steve, yeah. So we'll run down our other options you can watch and listen to our live stream on. Again, between games tonight will be the homecoming ceremony, and we will try to bring you some of that while Steve and I talk about some things. I don't know how that shot by Hudson didn't go in. Wow. Good effort by...
They call a foul?
They called a foul. They called it on Kayla Grant. That's the 8th grader, Junipel Stroh, who's checked into the game.
Thought maybe it was going to be a held ball.
Yep. So that's 5 fouls on South Warren. Lydia Frank. Wow. I don't know how many times Lydia Frank got that good of a look and
didn't draw eyes.
No. You can watch and listen to our live stream at prepspin.com or the PrepSpin Facebook or Twitter pages. You can also go to Roku or Fire Stick TV and look for PrepSpin. You can go to our website, warrencountyschools.org, or you can go to WBKO.com, click on the sports page, and then go to the PrepSpin link. And here's Kayla Grant. Ooh, nearly went in. She's going to go to the line for 2. Again, Steve, I think getting her a touch in there is paramount.
Well, it's got to bring the defense down to her.
Yep.
They're double-teaming her, but she's more than capable of beating a double team.
So Grant with her first of 2 free throw attempts. It's just
only a good free throw shooter.
We have 43.7 seconds left in the third quarter, and South Warren, outside of the first 3 or 4 minutes, has led since then. And both free throws.
Did you jinx her or did I, Mike?
I think I'll blame myself on that. And South Warren has a 9-point lead and the ball. And down low, the pass is intercepted by Greenwood. Right back, though.
Turned it right back over.
To Stroh. And Stroh gets it back over to Gracie Hodges. And now South Warren will hold for the final shot, it looks like. Gets it over to Stroh. Back over to Hodges. There's Maxwell. We're down to 6 seconds. Over to McLean Hudson. Nicely done. Wow.
Nice give and go.
Yep, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. South Warren's playing really well, Steve.
Right. That was a big last part of the third quarter. They had a good first part of the third quarter, a good last part of the third quarter. Kind of eased off a little in between, but they finished that quarter strong. That give and go, they've run that how many times tonight, Mike? And us, they've gotten a good shot and a good points out of it every time.
I would say half their points have come on that give and go, Steve. So anyway, 40-29 after three quarters, South Warren leading. We'll be right back with more girls basketball on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. I'll make it a quick break.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Welcome back to South Warren High School, where the Lady Spartans, with a strong performance through three quarters, leading 40-29. And Steve, you mentioned right before the break that give and go play the South Warren squad has been running. I bet they've gotten at least 10 baskets off that.
Well, that's the answer to Greenwood going to a man-to-man defense is run that give and go. And if you're not, if you're trailing your offensive player, you're not going to stop it. The answer to the give and go is to go back to a zone, and then they start flooding you with threes.
Leah Trin with a nice drive to the hoop. It won't go in, but Grant with the nice offensive rebound and follow, and they needed that.
Good answer for Greenwood. They needed that.
They're within 9 now. Plenty of time left. We're just underway in the fourth quarter, and Coach Simpson surely telling his players, just chip away. You don't have to score all 9 points in one possession.
But kind of a matchup zone.
And there's an interesting development, Steve, because that foul right there
puts him in the bonus.
That does. And it is a shooting foul, so Gracie Hodges will go to the line for a couple free throws. And I don't want to jinx her, but she's a pretty good foul shooter. Remember, Steve, she hit some big free throws in that win against Franklin Simpson that we live streamed. So Hodges hits the first one to give the Lady Spartans a 10-point lead.
Everybody can rest easy. Sam Sanders is in the building.
Another one in the building is our Chief Operations Officer, Jason Cupcella. I want to thank his leadership along with Superintendent Rob Clayton and Chief Financial Officer Chris McIntyre. But like Steve said, most important, Sam Sanders. There has been a Sam Sanders sighting here.
That may be the person that Greenwood really needs to run this offense through. She gets it at the foul line, beats her player on the drive, and she's going to score that most times. And that may be what Coach Embry's telling his players is, when she gets the ball at that free throw line, you've got to keep a body in front of her.
Zach Simpson calls the timeout after that basket. We'll keep it right here. It's 42-33. And that's the third timeout that Coach Simpson has taken. And, Steve, I think this time he might set up full court pressure in some way. And you and I are on the same page on this. When they get Kayla Grant a touch, good things happen, whether she gets the ball 15 feet from the basket or down low, and she's just a tough matchup.
Well, to be honest, we've yet to see anybody one-on-one that's going to stop her. If they stop her, it's because they've doubled or triple teamed her. And, what I like about her is her footwork. We've talked about her ability to catch the ball at the free throw line, and she's got a great quick first step, and she's on the back, she's at the rim, and she's got good soft hands. She's going to score that more times than she's going to miss it.
The boys' game to follow between the Spartans and the Gators, but right now we have 7:15 to go in the fourth quarter, and South Warren leading 42-33.
Mike Leah Trin's been pretty quiet this game.
She hit a couple of shots early on.
Hit a three, follow that up, but I'm sure she scored a little bit in between there, but she just had a quiet night.
And here comes the full court pressure by Greenwood as Trent is guarding McLean Hudson. And Hudson will get the ball up court, and she'll kick it over to Moonrath. And there's Kaya Mitchell getting it back over to Moonrath. So we have 7 minutes left, and South Warren has the ball. They're leading by 9. Mitchell, Kayla Grant's, if she wants to take the three-point shot, she can, but.
Yeah, I agree with Kayla there. I think I'd give her that shot and stay in position for a rebound.
Mitchell looking for an open teammate.
Sure, that's what.
And look at that.
What Mitchell's trying to do is get Grant away from the lane. And
a good hustle there by Ella Whittle. South Warren retains possession, but now the arrow goes Greenwood's way. Good alertness there by Ella Whittle, forcing the jump ball. We have 6.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Moonrath gets it over to Hudson, the freshman, being guarded by Trin, who's a junior. Trin has been a key part of this Greenwood program since she was in 7th grade. And no one is surprised at what a really, really good player she has become for Greenwood. You saw it when she was in the 7th grade. Very coachable, terrific work ethic.
Good defense by Greenwood on this possession.
It is. Trin goes down, and she's kind of wincing, and hopefully she gets back up. And that's Moonrath, and this time, and see, Steve, if you remember Whittle forcing the previous jump ball.
This gives them a possession without South Warren scoring.
And again, have to remember, a big development is that South Warren is in the bonus. And South Warren's only committed 2 fouls. So here's Greenwood with a shot, down 9, 5:38 to go in the game, or the fourth quarter.
I want to say Greenwood probably is going to need to pick up the scoring pace, though.
That shot, ooh.
There's a couple steps too far back, probably.
Yep. And South Warren will have the ball, as Greenwood, as expected, applying full court pressure. Hodges inbounds, Gracie Hodges inbounds to Mila Moonrath, and they are.
A twisted knee, and Coach Embry's the one that got the officials' attention.
Yep, and it's JoJo McCorkle. Hopefully she's okay. She's not putting much weight on her right leg. And you're right, Coach Embry spotted that. And I didn't see any contact, Steve. I think
she might have just taken a step and her knee gave out from under her.
And hopefully JoJo is okay. She's definitely in pain right now, and they've got her on the bench, and the trainer's taking a look at her, so hopefully we see her back. Anyway, South Warren with the ball, 5:15 to go. That's Gracie Hodges out front. And they're going to get a foul, and Gracie Hodges is going to go to the line for a 1-and-1, Steve. Yet, Steve, JoJo McCorkle attempted that long three-pointer, and she seemed to come down fine, but you're right. I think it was non-contact. Hodges makes the first free throw, and the Lady Spartans are up 10. It's 43-33 with 5:10 to go in the fourth quarter. Hodges puts them up 11.
It's tough. It's going to be tough on Greenwood right here.
Yep. Alex Doig has checked into the game for Greenwood, and she gets the ball over to Trin. Grace Maxwell is guarding Kayla Grant. There's Trin with the baseline drive and shot. No.
It's just not unlike her to not even draw iron.
You're right, Steve. Since those early baskets, it's been a quiet game. Been a quiet game. And here comes South Warren. That's Lydia Frank with the baseline drive. Kicks it over to Maxwell. Back to Frank. Shot. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, Steve. That one was a big shot by Lydia Frank, and the Lady Spartans now up 14.
That's tough. Tough shot for Greenwood. Great shot for South Warren.
We have just over 4.5 minutes to go in the game. There's Kayla Grant. She goes down.
She's just done everything she could to keep them in it.
Yep. Here comes Hodges.
South Warren knows it, and they're bringing 2 or 3 players down on her.
There's another offensive rebound and a bucket. And, Steve, I'll tell you what, South Warren, they're like a shark smelling the blood in the water.
Yeah. It's just not been a great shooting night for Trin. Grant has done a lot, but, we talked about when we were referencing the boys trying to find another scorer. I don't know that Greenwood's found that other scorer tonight. Grant's had a good night. Trent's, not had a Trent-like night, but there's not really been anybody else. McCorkle hit that 1 3-pointer. Just been a tough scoring night for Greenwood.
We'll keep it right here as Lane Embry calls a timeout. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Steve. On the other hand, it seems like South Warren's scoring is very balanced. I couldn't tell you who their leading scorer.
I couldn't either.
It might be Hodges because of her free throws, but it's been very well balanced. So, Steve, if I had told you 10 minutes before the game tonight, with 3:42 to go in the game, South Warren would be leading by 16.
Wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, that's how I feel, and it just seemed like 2 minutes ago this margin was 9, and now it's 16. And now Coach Embry called this timeout, and I think he's doing two things, Steve. He's probably kind of refreshing how to handle the press by Greenwood, and also I think he's saying he doesn't want them just to go into a deep freeze on offense, but he wants them to use good judgment. And I think he's going to give a reminder about that give and go and the backdoor cuts.
Right. Yeah. 3:42 left, down by 16. You never want to pronounce a game over, and the game's certainly not over, but it would take a Herculean effort for Greenwood to overcome 16 points in just a little over 3.5 minutes, mainly because my nephew showed up here and he got me off track. I can't believe it.
What's your nephew's name, Steve?
This is Meyer Gable. He's a good guy. He's a South Warren guy.
Well, nice to meet him. Yeah. Okay.
The reason it's going to be a Herculean task for Greenwood is because South Warren's scoring. It's not like South Warren is just holding it and not doing anything with it. So, they're still going to try to continue to go in there to Grant, but it's just not going to go well.
What year is your nephew here at South Warren, Steve?
What are you, in 6th grade? What are you? He's a sophomore.
Steve, one of the cool.
He's asking where Sam, the man.
He's here.
We already pronounced him in the house.
He's here. Oh. Yep. Trent with the 3, and Greenwood hits it there. Zach Simpson gets a quick timeout. He's going to get a sub in. We'll keep it here. It's 49-36 as Steve is talking with his nephew right now, who attends South Warren High School. And great to have him here. And I'll make a point here with Steve here in a moment. The boys' game to follow. It's also homecoming at South Warren, so we'll have a longer intermission between games as you're watching and listening to the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. You know what, Steve? I'm since you brought up that was great.
Yeah, I didn't see him coming up on me. I thought, oh, mercy.
Let me say this. One of the things that I really enjoy, among other things, tonight, and I'll reference South Warren, for example, since we're at their venue tonight. And thanks to Principal Jenny Hester and Athletic Director Jeffrey Ashby for the hospitality. But I bring up Jeffrey Ashby and Steve, just the people that you meet and you get to visit with, the off-air conversation, Steve, seeing your nephew come up to you like that.
I see my niece almost daily. I take her home from school sometimes, but I hardly ever get to see my nephew. He's older, and, they don't hang around with us like the young ones do.
So Trent hit that 3. It's a 13-point margin. South Warren inbounds. And that's Hudson being guarded by Trent. And, again, you have to remember, as Greenwood, they forced a turnover. There you go.
I think Coach Simpson thought they were calling it the other way.
Yeah.
Man, he was going to be hot, and then he saw the referee making the correct call there.
Now, and, Steve, I think Greenwood's close to being out of timeouts. They might have one left. Yeah. But you know what? I don't blame Coach Simpson for,
I think if they come down, if Trim were to hit a 3 or something down here, I think you'd see Coach Embry go to a timeout.
Yep. That 3 is short.
Almost like she just doesn't have her legs under her tonight.
Yeah.
Right?
It does seem like that. And Steve, it is natural when you're trying to come back from this deficit to press. And, again, there's no 14-point shot there. You just have to chip away and chip away. And
let's not kid ourselves, though. Trim's more than capable of making that shot.
Yes.
It just hadn't been falling tonight.
Hodges, that is the player that Greenwood does not want to foul. Nice pass by Moonrath inside to Hudson. They get it back out to Mitchell. Hudson.
But while South is not going to going to roll over and just freeze, they're also not going to be in a hurry and take a bad shot.
Case in point right there, and there you go. Okay, Greenwood's got the ball
wants
again.
To be careful not to foul.
Peterson gets it over to Grant. Grant takes it strong.
But they're going to double team her now.
Yep. Right there with the ball is Avery Overmole. Gets it over to Etta Whittle. That's Peterson again. Again, JoJo McCorkle left with a right leg injury, and there's Grant. Okay, Steve.
She's doing everything she can.
There's still. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Coach Embry is not going to be pleased with this, but he's going to probably give his girls a chance to get a score down here and settle things down. If they get a turnover or no rebound, you might see him take a timeout to maybe get their attention. Surprised she didn't take it on to the goal there. She had a pretty good look.
Moonrath has the ball out front, and they're going to get a foul. Yep, go ahead, Steve.
That's probably a better play having her with the ball in her hands out that far away from the goal than maybe Mitchell.
Moonrath will go to the line for a 1-and-1 as Coach Simpson continues his substitutions, trying to keep a lot of energy so they can full court press while keeping Leah Trent and Kayla Grant in the game. Moonrath, a solid free throw shooter, converts the first one. And South Warren is back up by 12. We have 1:53 to go in the game. And I think they're going to get a foul on South Warren.
Yeah, that's just a momentary lapse there.
Just the
Even
fourth.
though Greenwood's not in the bonus yet.
Hudson, she only has 2 fouls in the game, so fourth team foul. So here comes Trent being guarded by Frank. There's Grant. She'll shoot the jumper. And no. And there's Mitchell with the rebound. Nothing wrong with that shot by Grant. Got a good look at it, just didn't go down.
And she's more than capable of hitting that shot.
Yep. And late in.
Timeout.
There's your timeout. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back with more girls basketball. 30 seconds.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
We're back at South Warren High School. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public School Sports Network. South Warren is leading Greenwood 50-38 with 1:28 left. South Warren has the ball, and Steve, South Warren is in the bonus.
I think that's hurt Greenwood a lot during this second half. Is that South's been in the bonus for so long? Any kind of foul, gives them a chance to score with no time going off the clock. That was a really good layup look for South Warren. It just wouldn't fall. But
that foul's going to go against Mila Moonrath of South Warren. They said she pushed off. So that's South Warren's 5th team foul. Moonrath's second. So Greenwood down 12. Plenty of time left, 1:24. As Trin being guarded by Frank. Smart move there by Trin. Shot won't go, though.
McCorkle not on the court takes away a big three-point threat.
It really does. And Trin fouls Hudson. That's the 9th foul. So the rest of the way, South Warren's in the double bonus. And Steve, just looking at the body language of Greenwood, I felt like when they couldn't score on that possession, that might have been
it.
Yep. Hudson?
Well, South's done a great job of hitting their free throws tonight. And, again, they've been in the bonus for so long that it just made it all the more tougher on Greenwood. Good touch right there.
I'll tell you what, Steve, a lot of credit to South Warren after losing earlier in the week to Edmondson County by 2. They've come back very nicely as we'll keep it right here. That's a three-pointer by Abby Walker.
Quick, very little time came off the clock.
52-41, 1:02 left in the game, unless there's a big comeback here. And looking over to my right there, Steve, and there's a coach who knows Lane Embry very well. Blaine Embry, his dad. Blaine used to be the head coach of South Warren girls basketball. And another one of Blaine's sons, Brett, is one of Lane Embry's assistant coaches. So, Steve, South Warren's in the double bonus the rest of the way. South Warren has only committed 5 fouls, so they've got a foul to give. And good to see you there. Doing well. Yep. One of the wonderful coaches for South Warren football saying hi. And,
well, you know, at the end of the day, Greenwood's got to have to make some big shots. And they've made some, but they've really come few and far between. And they're going to have to apply a great amount of pressure, maybe get some turnovers, but so far it just hasn't happened.
And Steve, you touched on earlier, and in no way we both think the world of Leah Trin. She's a tremendous player, class act. It's just been a tough night for her.
Yeah.
There's the foul by Ella Whittle, so little time comes off. She fouls Hodges. You don't have a choice there. You don't want time to come off, and obviously Hodges has done a great job hitting her free throws tonight, and she'll shoot 2 here. We have 1:01 left, 52-41, South Warren leading. Do I get the blame for that, Steve? Jinx and Gracie?
Okay. Tell Coach Embry.
Okay.
It's lucky this game isn't closer than it is.
Yep. Okay, Hodges will try to make the second one, which she does. The Lady Spartans are up 12, 53-41. We're under a minute to go. And one thing you got to give credit to, there's a long three-point attempt, which is short. Ooh, I hope Lydia Frank's okay. She came down wrong. They called her for a travel. Ooh, I didn't like the way she landed.
No.
Ooh. Steve
seems to be walking okay.
Yep.
Didn't seem to be limping.
I'll tell you what, Steve. I think Lydia Frank's done a nice job defensively here on Leah Trin here late in the game. She's not just letting her come down there and shoot a 3. Smart play by Trin, getting the 2 within 10.
Gonna give you, but, 37 seconds, 10 points.
Smart play by Hodges, letting that time expire, and Hudson will be fouled by Trin.
It's going to be a little too late.
Yep. 32.4 seconds left, and
especially the way South Warren shoots free throws.
Yes.
Don't tell Coach Embry I said that.
McLean Hudson will go to the line for 2. South Warren with a 10-point lead. If this score holds true to form, South Warren will improve to 8-10 on the season, while Greenwood's 5-game winning streak will be snapped, and they will be 11-7 on the season. First free throw by Hudson is good. And she also, second one goes in and out. So we're under 30 seconds left. Greenwood with the ball, trying to make something quick. That shot attempt is no good, and that should do it. Hodges is fouled by Grant. She'll go to the line for 2.
McCorkle not on the floor right now is just, that's a big blow for Greenwood.
That is.
She's a good, reliable three-point shooter.
Tell you what, you mentioned Lane Embry. If I'm him, I'm really proud of my team tonight. South Warren's done a nice job in this game.
We talked about coming out of halftime, one team's going to make a run, and South Warren did. I thought typically you see that team that's down a little bit make a run, to try to shift that momentum. But like we talked about, no team really had momentum going into halftime, but South Warren really reached out and grabbed that momentum coming into the third quarter, and they just never really let up.
Final seconds, the Lady Spartans are going to win this game. That shot won't go, and South Warren will just hold on to the ball, and that should be how the game will end. Good win for South Warren tonight. They're going to defeat the Lady Gators by a final of 56-43. Again, Steve, very nice performance by South Warren and a good win for the home team.
It was. Great win. They really had a good game plan going into it. Kayla Grant got her points. It's hard to stop her from getting her points, but she just didn't have a lot of other players on the floor, contributing. It's good to see JoJo McCorkle walking through the line, shaking hands. She's got a little bit of limp going, but she's able to put weight on it and bend it, so that's a good sign.
And I could read Zach Simpson's lips. He gave Coach Embry a hug and said you guys played great. And class act by Zach.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of mutual respect between those
These
two
two
coaches.
teams will see each other soon over at the Swamp. And
in fact, Steve, I can give you a date on that. 3 weeks from tonight, on February 3rd.
all right.
On February 3rd, you're exactly
Are
right.
we there?
So,
Are we there?
yes,
Roger?
we're
All
there.
right.
We're there. So, Steve, we're going to take a quick break. We've got an extended intermission.
I'll leave the camera on half court so everybody will get to see
Absolutely.
the South Warren homecoming festivities. I'll zoom it out a little bit so we make sure we don't miss anything.
And you know what, Steve? One thing I'll do too is I'll go silent here so people can watch and listen to it. You know, Steve. You know, before we talk about some other things, the boys' game and something else. You touched on it earlier. The biggest difference in this game, I think, tonight was South Warren on the rebounding end.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something you know that Coach Simpson is going to address once again with his Greenwood
he
team.
spent practice last weekend working on rebounds, and you know they're just still struggling to out rebound their opponent. They certainly didn't tonight, and you know they're getting out rebounded on their offensive end. And when you get one shot, you know, let's say you have a great shooting night and you hit 40% of your shots, that's 60% of those possessions you're losing. And South Warren was making the most of them, especially in the second half. So, just a tough combination of stuff to go on. So, looks like they're getting ready for the South Warren festivities.
We will, Steve and I will go silent, and so you can listen to the public address announcer. Homecoming night at South Warren High School. So congratulations to Alana Carpenter on being named the homecoming queen for South Warren High School. Very nice gesture to see the South Warren boys basketball team come out to watch the homecoming ceremony, and the South Warren girls basketball team remaining on the court to watch as well. Again, Alana Carpenter is your homecoming queen for South Warren High School. Congratulations to her. Tonight's first game was won by the home team, South Warren defeating Greenwood by a final of 56-43. And we are about a little over 20 minutes away from the start of the nightcap between the visiting Greenwood boys basketball team and the host South Warren boys basketball team. Mike Cleff and Steve Sanders, part of the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. Also tonight taking place, want to congratulate the newest inductees into the Warren East Hall of Fame class. They're being inducted tonight, and between games they are hosting a boys-girls basketball doubleheader. James Britt, Tyler Phelps, Kendall Smith, and Leslie Turner are the individuals being inducted, along with the 2007 football team. So congratulations to Warren East tonight, as Greenwood has just taken to the court. Steve Sanders is back here. He made a Coke Zero run for me, so it's greatly appreciated. And Steve, tell you what, I've got to just say this. Congratulations to the homecoming queen, Alana Carpenter. And those are some memories that last a lifetime. I never get tired of seeing those. I don't know about you.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, Steve, before we get to the boys' game, we got some time here. Now you had a few minutes to process that girls' game, a game in which South Warren won 56-43. Were you surprised at the result?
Yes. Absolutely, I was. Okay. Both teams had a game plan. South Warren did a much better job of executing that game plan. And Leah Trent's entitled to have an off night. It's not. I think we could play this game again, and we will in a couple of weeks. I think we could play it again tomorrow and might get somewhat of a different result, either Greenwood winning or a difference in the score. I think these teams are still evenly matched. I think more than anything, we just saw a really off shooting night for Greenwood. But one thing that they have showed over the last few weeks is they've got to shore up the rebounding, or it's going to be a long season and a short playoffs.
South Warren bouncing back after a tough loss earlier in the week to Edmonson County, and Lane Embry watched his team outside of the first 3 minutes of the game. They led pretty much the entire way in a balanced scoring attack. Nicely done by the Lady Spartans, and they improved to 8-10 on the season, while Greenwood girls basketball, they had a 5-game winning streak coming in, and they are now 11-7 on the season. So, Steve, let's talk about this boys matchup. And it's been definitely a tale of two stories with the Spartans and the Gators. Let's start with the Gators. They got off to a rough start, and then they had a nice run. They went with a younger lineup, and we talked about this a lot. They play a lot of young players. Then last Friday, we watched them face
Warren. They had a nice run until they ran into
Warren Central.
Juggernaut, which is a dragon to Warren Central.
That's right. By the way, one score, Bowling Green girls basketball defeated Warren Central tonight. And, of course, the boys' game there to follow. We'll try to update you on that. But Steve, yeah, like you said, the juggernaut that Greenwood ran into last Friday, you're absolutely right. They lost the next night in a much tighter contested game to Madisonville North Hopkins. And then we saw them 3 nights ago against Butler County rally. And in a very fun, high-scoring game, they defeated Butler County by a final of 84-81. So Greenwood boys basketball comes in with a season record of 5-12. Steve, South Warren has been one of the really neat stories in South Central Kentucky basketball. We've seen them once. They defeated Franklin Simpson under first-year head coach Carlos Corrals, who's a very familiar person in this area. They're 13-2. So your reaction to them winning 13 of their first 15 games this season, Steve?
Well, you know, they have some talented kids on their team, and they've got a great coaching staff. And you put those two things together, and good things are going to happen. Good things like a record of 13-2. You know, I look forward to seeing South Warren and Warren Central next Tuesday night at Warren Central. I believe we're at Warren Central that
You're
night.
correct. Yeah.
You know, that's going to tell us a whole lot more about this South Warren team. When, you know, obviously they're playing Warren Central, which is arguably one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the entire state.
And, Steve, what's interesting with this schedule is you mentioned South Warren facing Warren Central Tuesday. You're absolutely right. Not only that, they have a rematch a week from tonight, and that's exactly where we will be 1 week from tonight, back here at South Warren for a girls-boys basketball doubleheader. Between the Lady Spartans and the Lady Dragons and Dragons of Warren Central. So, Steve, we've seen Greenwood twice recently, boys basketball. We saw one performance where, like you said, they ran into a juggernaut, and then another one where they made a really nice comeback led by Luke Stansbury's 32 points. And we'll say it again, they were missing in that Warren Central game Zach Davis, and they were missing Luke Stansbury.
They're starting backcourt.
Yes.
And Warren Central puts a tremendous amount of pressure on your backcourt. You know, they put pressure on your entire team, but when you're the 2 primary ball handlers for a team, Warren Central is going to come at you.
What do you think Greenwood has to do tonight, Steve, to try to knock off the Spartans?
They got to find a secondary scorer. Stansbury, I mean, it's kind of like Bill Belichick would tell you, Stansbury's going to get his points, but is anybody else going to get any points? And we'll give Stansbury 32 points if nobody else scores, and we're going to win that game. And so somebody's got to step up and make some consistent shots. And again, until I started this job with you, Mike, I don't guess I really thought as much about ball games, but how many of the ball games that we've done so far this year, we've done plenty, girls and boys, have we seen one team just completely dominated on the rebounding end? And the team that is out rebounding another team is winning every one of those games.
You nail it. It has been whoever is winning the rebounding margin, especially by a big margin, they're the ones winning. You're absolutely right. Steve, one player who will not play tonight for South Warren is Andrew Linhart. He's nursing a minor injury, and he's one of those good role players for South Warren. But, Steve, we talked about this before. Their leading scorer is a player that really has made an impression on us, and that's Brandon Rowe.
Absolutely.
And he's the one that they'll look to lead. But they've had some other players step up in a very nice way. They won a game against Barron County in which Justin Posey hit a three-pointer at the buzzer.
And listen, we've seen that Barron County squad play. And, the game we saw them play at Warren East, I was very impressed with them. They had a primary scorer, and they had a secondary scorer, that big kid they had inside. I mean,
yes.
He was a load inside, and he had a good shot, and he rebounded, So beating Barron County is a solid win.
And just 1 week ago, South Warren went toe-to-toe with Bowling Green in a game that was a 5-point margin. It's just one of the Spartans' 2 losses.
I'll be interested to see what the final of that Bowling Green Warren Central score is tonight.
I will be too. I
certainly think Warren Central will win. I could be wrong, but I believe they'll win. It's just going to be what's going to be interesting is, is it going to be a Greenwood score or is it going to be a tighter game? And I believe it'll be a tighter game.
All right, we're about 12 minutes away from the start of this boys basketball matchup between the visiting Gators of Greenwood and the home team, the South Warren Spartans. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders. We're going to take a timeout. We'll talk more hoops right after this quick break. It's a longer break.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Good, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to South Warren High School. Mike Cleff and Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public School Sports Network. We're about 10 minutes away from the start of the boys' game between South Warren and Greenwood. The first game tonight, the girls' matchup between the Lady Spartans and the Lady Gators, and South Warren prevails by a final margin of 56-43. Real quick, we'll run down our live stream schedule coming up the following week. Our next game will be a boys basketball game. It's a single game. It's Tuesday, January 17th. Steve mentioned it'll be Warren Central hosting South Warren. It'll start at 7 p.m. Thursday, we're going to have a swim meet. We're going to be at the Aquatic Center. So Steve and I are going to...
I'm wearing my trunks, Mike.
Yeah, I'm going to
go into the pool for some interviews.
You know, Steve, it's never too old. We're never too old to learn, and we're going to learn something on Thursday. So we look forward to that. That'll be fun. Next Friday we'll
going to sweat some in there too, Mike.
Yes, we are. We are. And then next Friday we'll be back here at South Warren for a girls-boys basketball doubleheader. South Warren hosting Warren Central. So boys basketball, the Dragons and Spartans will face each other twice in the span of 3 days. After that, on Tuesday, January 24th, we'll have another girls-boys basketball doubleheader as Warren East will host South Warren. That'll start at 6 p.m. And then on Friday, January 27th, 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be at Warren Central for a girls-boys basketball doubleheader between
the rematch.
Greenwood. Yep. So that takes you up through the next 2 weeks. So, Steve, just, the two head coaches tonight, Will McCoy for Greenwood and Carlos Corrals for South Warren. We mentioned Greenwood comes in with a season record of 5-12. They're coming off a win over Butler County in which they rallied, and Luke Stansbury scored 32 points. As Steve mentioned, it's crucial for Greenwood to get a secondary score tonight to help Luke Stansbury's cause. South Warren is 13-2. Their 2 losses, they lost to Lyon County back on December 1st, and then they lost at Bowling Green last Friday by just 5. And it was a tight game. A lot of people that were there said it was a game that South Warren had a chance to win late. But the Purples were able to fend off the Spartans by 5 points. So both teams have gone back into the locker room. Steve, let's go back to South Warren. We saw them once, a game against Franklin Simpson in which the Spartans defeated the Wildcats. What do you remember about that Spartans performance that night, Steve, besides the obvious in which they won the game?
Good defense. Good defense, rebounding. Some of the same things we've talked about all night. They did well that night, and it showed.
Want to give a shout out to a gentleman a few feet from us. You and I are both familiar. One of my colleagues, Ronnie Rush. And speaking of bus drivers, Brandon Rowe, the standout player on South Warren, his dad has been a longtime bus driver with Warren County Public Schools, Marcellus Rowe, and
great guy.
Oh,
great
tremendous.
Guy, Marcellus.
Yeah, tremendous. Always just a wonderful guy to visit with and so forth. So, Steve, again, we will run down. I'm going to run down guys that will play tonight for Greenwood, we expect. And you'll get a common theme here. Nick Simpson will play. Asher Pettis will play. Garrett Hatcher will play. Cole Phillips will play. Zach Davis will play.
Brady Clark.
And those 5 that I mentioned, what year in school are they? Before we get to Brady Clark.
Probably sophomores.
Yep. Brady Clark is a junior. And the 2 seniors. Now the game we had the other night, a 3rd senior, Briar Hardis, gave the Gators some good minutes. But the 2 seniors are Lofton Howard and Luke Stansberry. So, Steve, when you play that many young players, and Greenwood, you can see they got some potential. But you're going to have some ups, like Tuesday night, that rally in the 4th quarter, and you're going to have some downs, like that game against Warren Central. As we're about 5.5 minutes away from the start of this game. Greenwood wearing their visiting green uniforms with maroon and gold trim.
First time we've seen them away from the swamp.
Yep. And South Warren wearing their home white uniforms with silver trim on their jersey numbers. And again, this is Carlos Corral's first season as the head coach at South Warren. And
what a turnaround season.
Yeah, and Steve, we've talked about it. Even though he's not been a head coach at one of the Warren County Public Schools until this season, he's certainly been a basketball fixture and a teaching fixture in this area. And you won't find anybody say a bad word about him.
No.
He's highly thought of.
South Warren hit a gold mine when they got him.
Yep. And also one of his coaching mentors and close friends is William Unseld.
Yep.
And that's an awfully good mentor to have. So some of the other players that South Warren you can expect to play tonight, Justin Posey, who hit that game-winning three-point shot against a Barron County team that Steve mentioned. We saw them beat Warren East and was very impressed with. Bryce Button will probably step up and play a lot of minutes tonight. Drew Hudson, the son of WKU head volleyball coach Travis Hudson, is the second leading scorer for the Spartans entering this game, and he will play college volleyball for the men's program with the Ohio State Buckeyes out of the Big Ten. I mentioned Bryce Button. Luke Smith will play some for him. Andrew Goley. And Steve mentioned the impression they made when we saw them back in early December was how well they played defense. Steve, if I remember right, I think Brandon Rowe scored 27 points that night.
He had a big night that night. Very impressive. And
he didn't dominate the ball.
No.
He's a very unselfish player.
Well, you know, his dad's a quiet guy.
Yep.
And just can't say enough good things about Marcellus.
Right. I'm looking around here, Steve, and I'm wondering, you know, Warren Central's obviously playing tonight. I was wondering if they might have one of their staff members here scouting tonight while the rest of the Warren Central coaching staff is on the bench in their game against Bowling Green. Once again, I want to thank the hospitality here at South Warren High School. Principal Jenny Hester and Athletic Director Jeffrey Ashby. Jeffrey is in his first year as the athletic director. He replaced a gentleman who's joined us for an interview before, former athletic director at South Warren, Nick Lowe, who also was the athletic director at Greenwood.
To Nick and Jenny down in the hallway a minute ago. And, stood for just a second, chatted with him. Great principals. Jenny's done great things here at South Warren.
One thing I learned, Jenny joined us. We were doing a basketball game our first season. It was in the spring. No, I'm sorry, Steve. It was a volleyball match in the fall of 2021. And we were talking about the academics, and I hope I get this right. I think South Warren has had 9 students, in their history that have scored perfect ACT scores.
Could be.
That's phenomenal. Holy cow, that's phenomenal, Steve. And what a credit to the leadership at South Warren High School. And speaking of Nick Lowe, there he is. Hi,
hey,
Nick.
Here's the man right here.
Yep, there he is. My night, that just made my night a lot better. That made my night a lot better.
Great guy. Great coach.
Yep. He coached Will, your oldest son, right?
My oldest son in cross country.
Yep.
He has good relationships with kids. He doesn't yell. He doesn't get emotional with people. Really great. Coach Embry down to our right. I wonder if he'll wander this way.
Let's see. We're going to try to flag him down.
You know what?
Yep.
We'll get Coach on the mic. I'll follow the starting lineups in the game, and they can get a little bit of insight from Coach Embry, and I'll let them watch the game.
All right. We'll get here. And got to give Coach Embry a lot of credit. He's got his little daughter here. Get a quality time. And our night always gets better when we get a chance to talk with Lane Embry. And you can hold your daughter there. We'll do this quick. They're doing the starting lineups. Lane, we had a chance to talk to you. We were both so impressed with your team tonight. You had to really like what you saw from your team.
I did. We came out and we fought hard.
No, you're fine. Good.
Yeah, we fought very hard. We fought hard on the glass. We fought hard defensively, and it started on the defensive end. I felt like, I didn't feel like we shot the ball all that well, but we answered that on the boards. I was very proud of what the girls did tonight, coming out and just playing their game.
I thought offensively, you mentioned the rebounding. I thought it was great. I thought, especially in the first half, your half-court offense against their zone was really good. You got that ball in the middle of the lane, and it just seemed to benefit your team in all kinds of aspects.
Yes, it did. We always talk about against every zone, there's some kind of gap somewhere, and you just got to really find where that gap is. You can't get locked into being in one spot, and you got to be willing to move the basketball, and everybody has to be willing to take a shot if they want to. And the big thing is you got to be willing to rebound against the zone, and I thought we were.
We're talking with South Warren girls basketball head coach Lane Embry. His team tonight defeated Greenwood 56-43. We have the starting lineups going on for the boys game. Lane, just a couple more things, and you don't see Lane on camera. He's holding his lovely daughter, so we appreciate him doing this. I thought defensively, the job you did on Leah Tren, I thought it's the best defensive effort on Leah we've seen this season. Did you like how you defended her?
I did, and I felt like everybody was a part of it. She's such a good player, and Kayla Grant's a really, really good player, and they've got a lot of shooters around the perimeter, so it's not an easy team to defend at all. You can't just only focus in on one kid because if you do, then there's going to be others that can hurt you, and so I thought that we just did a good job kind of swimming to the basketball, stopping the next problem that might come about, and just helping each other out. And like I said, that's what it comes down to. When it all is said and done, you got to be able to stop people on defense.
Lane, one more thing. What do you like most about your team?
I like that they're teammates first. They don't care who scores. They don't care who doesn't score. They just want to win, and they're competitors. And the nights that we come out and we really, really compete, I think that we have a lot of potential.
Lane Embry, thank you for your time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Let you watch the boys game. Appreciate Lane Embry spending some time with us. The winning coach tonight. He's a terrific basketball coach. Of course, his dad was a longtime coach in this area, including the head coach of both the boys and girls basketball teams at South Warren. And not only that, Steve, you got to give props to a guy as he puts the headset back on, conducting the interview while holding his daughter. He's awesome. Great. He's great. Brandon Rowe with the shot. We're just underway.
Good first shot for goalie for South Warren. Nice up and under move and made a great shot, and then they turn around and get a steal here on Greenwood's second possession.
That's Bryce Button with the ball, who's stepping in for Andrew Linhart tonight. That's Brandon Rowe. Andrew goalie is on the court.
Greenwood starts out in a man-to-man.
And Steve, a guy that we think does a nice job, in a role player for South Warren, 33, Braden Paris. He's got the ball right now. There's Rowe. He's being guarded by Lofton Howard. And we got a whistle, and it looks like there's a call against South Warren. Greenwood tonight, no real big surprise. Well, wait a minute here. Yeah.
It was a foul on 33.
Yes, you're right, Steve.
Probably a screen, I would say.
Luke Stansberry with the ball. Nick Simpson Zach Davis, Lofton Howard, and Asher Pettis starting for the Gators. So that's right there as Greenwood's trying to get their first points of the game. Lofton Howard.
Nice move. Strong move by
Very nice.
Howard.
We're tied at 2. Steve, I really like Lane Embry.
He's just a great personable guy, and I would say he's that kind of coach too. And props to Coach Simpson for Greenwood too. I can imagine they are good friends because they're both such quality people.
They really are. Greenwood grabs the defensive rebound. Luke Stansberry grabbing it, and as we talked about 3 nights ago,
it's 2 turnovers in the first 4 possessions for Greenwood.
Posey with the ball over to Rowe. There's Bryce Button, the nice pass to Paris. No.
A little awkward shot by Paris.
Yep.
He kind of pushed it.
Steve, I'll be honest. You kind of do a second look at Rowe and at Posey.
3 turnovers in the first 5
boy.
possessions.
Whew. There's Posey with the lay-in, and it's 4-2 South Warren. Luke Stansberry with the ball. He's coming off a 32-point performance 3 nights ago against Butler County. There's Howard with a 3. No. Rebound by Paris. And South Warren with the ball in a 2-point lead. There's Rowe. No. That's Davis with the rebound, and here come the Gators. That's Stansberry. And Posey knocks the ball out of bounds. So Greenwood will retain possession. Yeah, some early turnovers, Steve. That's obviously what you don't want to see if you're the coach of either team.
It's not a good metric when you have more turnovers than points.
Okay, so the Gators, Hatcher a long 3, short.
That's a Steph Curry.
Here come the Spartans. That's Brandon Rowe. That's over to Braden Paris. He wears 33. That's Andrew Goley. He wears number 1. Back to Brandon Rowe, who wears 0. That's Justin Posey. He wears number 2. 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. South Warren with a 4-2 lead. There's Posey. No. Button with the rebound. The putback. No. Howard with the rebound. Of course, Bryce Button and Lofton Howard, very familiar with each other. Button is the starting quarterback for South Warren. Howard, strong drive.
Another strong drive. Didn't get that one to fall, but he's had 2 strong drives.
So we're underway in the second quarter, or the first quarter, the second game. Got a little ahead of myself. South Warren won the first game tonight, 56-43 over Greenwood. There's Pettis. I think they're going to get him for a travel. Both teams seem a little bit hyper, Steve. Does it seem like that?
And that's what leads to turnovers early in the game like this.
You'd expect that. County rivals. First time seeing each other this season. As we mentioned, they'll face each other again in 3 weeks at Greenwood, 3 weeks from tonight. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. Thanks to our sponsors, Med Center Health, UK Healthcare, and Mingy Beef Jerky. So Coach Coral says, let's bring this back out and run some good offense. He wants some movement. There's Goley. Over to Posey. Yes. 3-pointer by Justin Posey. It's 7-2 Spartans. Steve Sanders talked about it. Greenwood needs a secondary scorer after Luke Stansberry. No good there. Andrew Goley with the rebound over to Posey. He'll try it again. Nope. But the rebound goes to Pettis. Here come the Gators. Loses the ball. That's Button. Button brings it back up court. He'll stop. Pop. No. Up and down, but no points. 2:25 to go in the first quarter. South Warren leading 7-2. Hatcher, the drive, the runner. No, but they're going to get a foul, and Garrett Hatcher is going to go to the line for 2. again, what did John Wooden always say? Run but don't hurry. And it seems like both teams are hurrying right now.
They're frantic.
First free throw by Hatcher is good.
Brady Clark into the game. Pettis takes his seat. Somebody else may have come in the game?
Let me see here.
No. Got Hatcher, Simpson,
Yep.
Stansberry, Howard, and Clark out there for Greenwood.
I think Clark checked in for Pettis.
Yes.
Yep. And it looks like South Warren has a player that came in. I'm going to be honest with you, Steve. I don't have his number. It's number 34. I've got to check on that. We'll try to get that down. That's a long three-point attempt, no good. That was by Drew Hudson. That shot by Brandon Rowe is off the mark. Here come the Gators. So the two leading scorers for South Warren had good looks. They just didn't go down. There's Hatcher. Nope, I'm sorry. That was Simpson. Yep, Simpson with the shot. And the Gators are within one, 7-6. Steve, your nephew's coming this way, and I think I might ask a question. No, he went up to the bleachers, so never mind. So South Warren with the ball with a 7-6 lead. And that goes off Greenwood, so South Warren will retain possession. Minute 13 to go in the first quarter, and South Warren is leading 7-6. They inbound to Rowe. No. Drew Hudson will try it. No. Lofton Howard with the rebound.
South Warren's gone cold from the field.
They really have. Stansberry inside to Howard. Howard. Oops, they're going to get him for a travel.
That pivot foot.
Woo. Howard's going to get a breather as Briar Hardis will check in. And Steve, as we mentioned,
he gave him some good minutes the other night.
He really did. Yeah.
He had a couple of nice-looking turnaround shots.
They list him at 6'5". He's a senior. So we're under 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. South Warren, they've been stuck on 7 for a bit. As Steve mentioned, they kind of gone cold. And Drew Hudson facing that Greenwood zone. Back over to Hudson. He'll try a 3. Yes. There you go. And the Spartans take a 10-6 lead. We're under 20 seconds, and now the Spartans go full court pressure. They get it over to Hardis, back to Stansberry. The 3, no. And the rebound, nice pass right there to Clark, and a nice block. Want to give number 34 some props. Oh, I see it right there. It's Wells Bratcher. Yeah, Wells Bratcher, Steve.
Okay.
And I cheated. I looked at the banner over there, Steve. Wells Bratcher. So here's Stansberry, short, and that's how the first quarter will end. So, South Warren with a 10-6 lead after the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with boys basketball on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up?
Keep the rhythm going. Perfect.
Or get up.
Looks good. Yeah, we're going to take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
All right, welcome back to South Warren High School. First quarter of the boys game complete. And Steve, you and I, we always want to be positive and compliment our student athletes. Effort was great the first quarter, but quite frankly, the play was a bit choppy, wasn't it?
It was choppy, yeah. Several players, I go back to that drive that Howard made to the rim. That may have been the strongest drive we've seen him make all year. And South Warren just, they're capable of shooting the lights out of it.
Steve mentioned it. South Warren struggled to shoot the ball in the first quarter, but Drew Hudson did hit a 3 to end the first quarter scoring, and the Spartans lead 10-6. The Gators have the ball to start, and Simpson is being double teamed, and the ball goes out of bounds off the Spartans.
Somebody from Greenwood's got to come inbound it.
They do. And it'll be Simpson. Just underway in the second quarter. South Warren leading 10-6. Cole Phillips is checked in for the Gators. That's Garrett Hatcher with the three-point attempt. Nope. It hit the wiring on the basket support, so South Warren will take over with a 10-6 lead. We have played 25 seconds here in the second quarter. Good crowd tonight, Steve.
It is, really good crowd. Fun atmosphere. Good Friday night. Good place to be.
Okay, so Andrew Goley handling the ball for the Spartans. Gets it over to Hudson. Just off the mark. And there's Briar Hardis with the rebound out to Hatcher. Simpson. No. And here come the Spartans, and they've got numbers. And bringing it in, it looked like we got a contact there before the shot. Luke Smith was fouled. And I think they're going to call it before the shot. Yep, so South Warren will inbound. Not a lot of fouls so far.
No, Greenwood's going big right now with Howard and Pettis and Hardis. They are big on the front line.
They certainly are. Just one foul on Greenwood in the game, just two on South Warren. There's Luke Smith. That shot is a little bit long. Here comes Hatcher with the drive. That was nice.
Step. Yep.
That was nice. And
let's see if this bigger front line of Greenwood can rebound. That could go a long way in getting them back in and then maybe even ahead in this game.
There was a delay of game call. And basically what will happen is if they do it again, they could result in a technical foul. So basically it's a warning.
Really not any reason for that because South Warren's not just out running every play.
Right. That's a good point.
I could see maybe with Warren Central on the court, you might want to do anything you can to delay that. But,
and the South Warren fans chanting Drew as Drew Hudson hits another triple. He likes that three-pointer from the corner. 13-8 Spartans. Asher Pettis will kick it over to Hatcher.
Need to reset here.
Yep. That's
sure they get a good shot, take care of the ball.
Greenwood has three sophomores out there and two seniors.
Hardis.
Yep. And there's Bratcher with the rebound, and he gets it over to goalie. Justin Posey is getting ready to check back in for the Spartans. South Warren is up 13-8. Luke Smith thought about trying a three, passed it to goalie. Now he'll try it. No. And they're going to get a foul there on Wells Bratcher.
You know, Greenwood doing a little bit better job rebounding with this taller lineup in.
34, fouled his fellow jersey number, 34, Briar Hardis.
Hardis working hard on the rebounds end.
You know, Steve, I would never tell Will McCoy how to coach, but I think you got to find some minutes for Briar Hardis. He does some positives when he's out there.
If he's going to rebound, I don't care if he scores a single point if he'll rebound.
Right. And he plays within his limitations. And you're right, he's got it. If he grabs rebounds, So Lofton Howard will inbound it. Like Steve mentioned, Greenwood goes big with their lineup with Howard and Asher Pettis and Briar Hardis. And Luke Stansberry 6'3", so he's not exactly
not a small fry, is he?
No.
So
I'll tell you, he's got a nice game, Steve.
I agree with you. I think you got to find him some minutes.
Here comes Brandon Rowe, the kick over to Paris, and I hope that Briar Hardis is okay.
He's a tough kid. I've known him a long time.
Good basketball play there. He was trying to make a block, and Paris went up, and you nailed it, Steve. He got up, and he's, like you said, he's a tough hombre. So nothing wrong with that. Just good basketball, playing hard. Braden Paris makes the first free throw. And Zach Davis will check in for Hardis. Nice job there by Hardis in the time he played.
Gave him some good minutes, gave him some points and rebounds.
14-10, South Warren leading. Paris makes it 15-10. 5:05 to go in the first half.
Have we seen Stansbury score yet this game, Mike?
I don't think we have. He took a three-point attempt, but it didn't go in, yeah.
You know, South's double teaming. Somebody's got to be open.
There's Stansbury. On cue.
There you go.
On cue. Three-pointer by Luke Stansbury, and Greenwood's within 2.
And made me look smart.
Posey, nice drive and lay in. It's 17-13. Back to Stansbury. He'll fire another one. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. We've seen this before, haven't we, Steve?
I called him out, Mike. I called him out.
Gators within 1, 17-16.
And Coach Q knows he's capable. You know, he just hasn't been taking very many shots, and so you know, kind of that out of sight, out of mind. But I guarantee you, he's back in Coach Q's mind now.
Here's Bryce Button with the nice drive down the lane.
It is. Good,
Strong
good
move. Strong move. 19-16, Spartans leading. We've hit the halfway mark of the second quarter, and, well, wow, great effort by both teams. And looked like we got a timeout called by Greenwood. Alert play there by Lofton Howard. So we'll keep it right here. Steve, what do you think of this game so far with South Warren leading 19-16?
I was concerned early that South Warren might run away with it, but Greenwood's hung in there and weathered the early storm. But again, you know, you got to find another scorer besides Stansbury. I know Hardis put in that nice shot, and but you just got to find that consistent second scorer.
Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. Again, thanks to our sponsors. Med Center Health coming sometime this spring. We'll tell you about a very nice sponsorship that Med Center Health is providing Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. Also, thanks to UK Healthcare and Mingy Beef Jerky. Nice play off the timeout. Oh, boy, did everything right except the shot didn't go in.
Chaz Huff in for the Gators right now.
Yep. And the shot is no good, and
He played some quality minutes in a very challenging setting against Warren Central.
He did. You talking about Chaz Huff, Steve?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
He did.
That was a challenging place to start. He actually started that night because of Davis's absence, but you know, he played good minutes.
He's a freshman with definite potential. He's got a good outside shot. Stansbury, ooh.
Man, that's 2 layups they've left on the table.
He got shoved there slightly as he was going up for the layup, and he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Of course, Luke Stansbury's dad is WKU men's basketball head coach Rick Stansbury, and his dad has been sidelined recently.
A little under the weather here lately.
Yeah. And we want him to get well soon. We miss him, and I can tell you, my time dealing with Coach Stansbury, he was always has been very great to me. As has Luke's mom, Mio. So get well soon, Coach Stansbury. As Luke hits a free throw, and it's a 2-point margin. Spartans up by 2. I'll tell you what, Steve, Bryce Button does a nice job taking that ball to the back.
Yeah, quick first step.
Yep. Okay, we got a foul there. They called it
on number 3.
Was it on Simpson?
Simpson, yeah.
Okay. And they said that Button was in the act of shooting, so he'll get a couple of free throws. 3:12 to go in the second quarter. 19-17, South Warren, as Button's first free throw is short. He'll get another attempt. Second one is a swish, so it's 20-17 Spartans. South Warren has committed 4 fouls in the half. Greenwood's committed 3, so the bonus is not a factor yet. Asher Pettis brings the ball up court, which is not a surprise. He's a good ball handler and a very good passer. Button is guarding Pettis, and they're going to get him for a travel. And Steve, this is the thing that we did talk about with Asher Pettis. He's a wonderful young man, but when he makes a mistake, he's got to learn to put it in his memory bank and move forward.
Yep.
He takes mistakes. He's a conscientious young man. You just got to think of the next play. Near steal. Button gets it over to Posey. Back to Button. Steve, Brandon Rose had a quiet half.
He has. Of course, we said that about Stansbury, and he lit up with 2 threes all of a sudden. So watch for Rowe. There he is. You called it. Called him out. There we go. He heard you.
The triple by Rowe, and it's 23-17 Spartans. Isn't it amazing how that always happens, Steve?
It's like when we jinx them shooting free throws.
Yeah. Okay, the steal by South Warren. Goalie has the ball. Over to Posey. Three-pointer is no. And Lofton Howard with the rebound. Pettis up court to Huff.
Tough pass right there with a player, South Warren player in the vicinity.
Steve, I kind of sometimes, Posey and Rowe both wear single-digit jerseys, and their hairstyles are very similar, and I kind of have to, and their shooting form's very similar. They're going to get an over and back on Greenwood there. Posey wears number 2, and Rowe wears 0. Both are good basketball players. They can shoot the ball. So here comes South Warren. They're ahead 23-17. Button kicks it back out to Rowe, and they're going to get a charge. That's the right call.
Wipe the basket away.
Lofton Howard drawing the charge. South Warren student section and good turnout tonight. As is Greenwood student section.
Need to get a timeout.
Yep.
Need to call a timeout when you're in that position.
Yep. Good hustle by both teams. And they're going to get a jump ball. And who's the error with, Steve? I can't see.
It is with South Warren.
Okay. Spartans ball. Okay.
Yeah, he's got to call a timeout when he gets trapped that far deep in the corner.
Okay, it's 23-17 South Warren with 1:45 to go in the first half. Spartans have led nearly the entire first half. There's Rowe for 3. Yep, I called him out, Steve, and he gets hot. Spartans up 9.
I think if Greenwood doesn't score and South Warren comes back down, I think Coach McCoy's got to get a timeout.
I think you're right. Oh, wow. There's a, They're going to get,
yep. Got to get a call that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Posey is going to get called for shoving Stansbury. Coach Q didn't understand it, but Steve, I do think the officials got that right.
Right call.
Yeah. And Coach Q's handling this right, just talking diplomatically. I think if Posey were going for the ball, Steve, it didn't look like he was going for the ball. Nothing malicious about it. He, playing hard. That's good dialogue between the official and Coach Quarles. I mean, Coach Quarles doesn't agree with it, not being disrespectful, and then he does the right thing. He walks back the other way. Good job by Coach Quarles. Good communication by the official. And then he gives a pat to Posey for a good hustle. Yeah. Okay, so it's 26-17. South Warren leading. 1:15 to go in the first half. Stansbury with the ball, uses the screen by Howard. Wow, that's Steph Curry-like, and no.
Different result.
Yep. Okay, so the Spartans have a chance to go up double digits. Steve, I'm looking at JoJo McCorkle over there standing on the upper level, and she's got a ice pack around her right knee, but she's standing there, and it doesn't look too serious, so I'm glad to see that.
Big plus for the Lady Gators.
Yep. So there's Rowe. Again, he doesn't force things. He lets the game come to him. Gets it back over to Andrew Goalie. Button back over to Goalie. And we have 26 seconds, and it looks like Coach Quarles is asking or telling the Spartans to hold the ball for one shot. I'll tell you another player for South Warren I think does a nice job, Steve. He doesn't shoot a lot, but Andrew Goalie, the one handling the ball.
Does a good job of handling the ball.
Yep. We're down to 12 seconds. Goalie gets it over to Button. That's Drew Hudson. They're doing the weave.
Good defense by Simpson there to cut him off.
It is.
They got to call that.
And then he did. Yep, they did. Not in the bonus, so South Warren won. Yep.
That makes another reason it was a good,
good foul. 3.8 seconds left.
Get Simpson off so he doesn't pick up a third.
Yep. as Cole Phillips checks in. Drew Hudson will inbound. Gets it to Rowe. Rowe over to goalie. Goalie will shoot. Oh, just off the mark. And we're at halftime, and South Warren leads Greenwood 26-17. Steve, what do you think of the first half?
Very good first half. You know, nobody was really dominant the entire time. South Warren started out strong. Greenwood made a little comeback, and then South Warren pulled back ahead by 9 and looked good. Nobody was really dominant on that half, but South Warren seemed to be in control of it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break as the Spartans lead the Gators 26-17. You are watching boys basketball on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or
Perfect.
get up.
Looks good. Yeah, we're going to take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Girls.
All right, welcome back to South Warren High School, where the Spartans are leading Greenwood 26-17 at halftime. The boys game, the girls game won tonight by South Warren over Greenwood by a final of 56-43. Final score to tell you about girls basketball tonight. Bowling Green defeated Warren Central 62-15, and in the boys game, early second quarter, Warren Central, the Dragons are leading the Purples of Bowling Green 19-13. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. Our next live stream will be on Tuesday. We'll see the South Warren boys basketball team again as they go to Warren Central to take on the Dragons, and we'll be on at 7 o'clock in the evening. So, Steve, Greenwood down 9. If you're Will McCoy, what are you emphasizing to your Gator players here in the locker room at halftime?
Take care of the basketball.
Yeah.
They've got way too many turnovers.
Yes.
In this game. Remember, at one point they had more turnovers than points.
And a lot of them have it seemed early on, were unforced.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's just unforced, unnecessary turnovers. Now, granted, South Warren's had a few too, but, not quite to the percentage that Bowling Green had. I remember at one point they had 4 out of 6 possessions they had a turnover.
Yes. We're about 6.5 minutes away from the start of the second half. Greenwood comes into this game tonight with a season record of 5-12, while South Warren enters tonight's contest with a season mark of 13-2. You can hear in the background the South Warren Pep Band doing a wonderful job. Also, between games tonight, they had the homecoming ceremony, and congratulations to Alana Carpenter, as she was named the homecoming queen at South Warren High School. And again, wonderful facility here. South Warren first came into existence in 2010, and appreciate their awesome hospitality extended by Principal Jenny Hester and Athletic Director Jeffrey Ashby. We mentioned the Warren East Hall of Fame induction ceremony going on tonight. Greenwood will have theirs on February 3rd, and that's Steve and I will be there, as the Gators and Lady Gators will host these. It'll be the rematch between these two teams. Going into their Hall of Fame class of 2023 will be Ellie Young. She was a girls soccer player in the class of 2015. Brad Cooper for football in the class of 2000. Chris Decker, the longtime baseball coach, and then became the athletic director here at South. Yep. He was the baseball coach from 1995 to 2010, and then the 2013 Greenwood Lady Gator softball team, and that'll be on February 3rd. One thing I do have to ask, Steve, is I know there's been discussion, but nothing official, on when they will start up a Hall of Fame here at South Warren. Of course, you've only been in existence for 12 years. You got to build it some time, but boy, in this short time, you already could have some big-time Hall of Fame candidates. And in fact, Chris Decker might be the first.
You could probably go into the Hall of Fame here at South Warren.
Yep. And I would have to look it up, Steve, is if someone is eligible to be in the Hall of Fame at two different high schools at Warren County Public Schools. So I was wondering that myself. So anyway, both teams are back out, warming up here for the start of the second half. I asked you about Will McCoy talking to Greenwood and cutting down those turnovers. So let's go on the other side with Coach Q, Carlos Corals. If you're him, what do you think he said to the Spartans players at the half?
Keep up the pressure.
Yep.
Keep up the pressure. It's been effective because it's created those turnovers. Don't fall asleep on the defensive end. But again, I don't know. I mean, they're up by 9. It's a rather low-scoring game at this point. So in a low-scoring game, I mean, up by 9, they're ahead by more than half of Greenwood's points.
Yes.
They scored in the first half. That's ominous there.
Yes, it definitely is. We're about 3 minutes away from the start of the second half. We'll take one more timeout. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom.
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up.
Looks good. Yeah, we're gonna take it up.
Who's not a runner now? I am proof of the power of advanced medicine.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
All right, welcome back to South Warren High School. We're moments away from the start of the second half. The Spartans are leading the Gators 26-17 in our second game of the doubleheader. South Warren won the first game, the girls matchup, over Greenwood by a final of 56-43. And Steve, we were talking during the break. You are right. Greenwood's got to find some scoring somewhere besides Luke Stansberry. They just the points have really come at a premium, and especially when you only have 17 at the half. And what did they score the other night, Tuesday night? 84.
Right. You go from 84 to a pace of 34.
Yeah. South Warren trying to go to 14-2 on the season. And South Warren has the same starting lineup that they started the game. Andrew Goley, Brandon Rowe, Justin Posey, Bryce Button, who's starting in place of Andrew Linhart, who has a minor injury. They hope to have him back soon. And Braden Paris is also starting.
Greenwood will get the ball to start this half. See what Coach McCoy's gotten them ready for offensively.
Okay, Greenwood. At halftime, Steve, of the boys' game, Warren Central leading Bowling Green 24-18. That shot attempt, no good. So South Warren gets the rebound, and Brandon Rowe brings it up, kicks it over to Andrew Goley. And so the Spartans will try to take a double-digit lead for the first time in this game. Posey being guarded by Asher Pettis. Lofton Howard is guarding Brandon Rowe. Bryce Button will try a three. Good move. He's having a nice game, Steve. South Warren's now up 12 as Button hits on the three ball. Luke Stansberry going baseline. Lofton Howard. Steal by South Warren. Brandon Rowe bringing it up court over to Goley. Contact, and he's going to go to the line for a couple of free throws.
Steal is code word for turnover, right, Mike?
Yes, it is, yes.
You just didn't want to say the T word.
No, that's right. You got a patent on it, Steve.
I'll tell you what, man.
Boy, and I might be making light of saying the word, but, I mean, Steve, we'll say it again, they're crucial. I mean, it takes away whatever momentum you have.
So we're early in the second half, and
yeah.
50% of Greenwood's possessions have ended in a turnover.
Yeah. Goley hits 1 of 2, and the Spartans are up 13.
Greenwood's got to be careful this game not to get out of hand.
You are exactly right. There's Zach Davis being double-teamed. He gets it over to Cole Phillips.
And, Mike, when you've got a double team on the court, you've got to find the person that's open. Somebody's open.
Yep.
And that person's got to make themselves available and make themselves available in a position to get a good shot.
Lofton Howard goes up and under. Good move.
Good move, yep.
Badly needed basket by Greenwood.
That's the way we started the game with Howard. Didn't he get the first shot of Greenwood's first half?
He did. It's 30-19. Nice move there by Goley. He doesn't shoot a lot, but when he does, he's effective. Strong drive to the hoop. 32-19 Spartans. There's Zach Davis. No, Howard. Rebound. Oh, boy. Posey with the rebound. He gets it out to Rowe. How did that shot by Howard not go in?
I mean, that point blank, and it wasn't a bad-looking shot either.
Yeah. Goley gets it over to Button. Three ball. He's feeling it, Steve. He's really
needs a timeout.
Yep.
I believe. This lead's ballooned to 16.
Coach McCoy, he listened to you, Steve. He's calling a timeout. We'll keep it right here. Steve, you're right. You feel like this game's getting away from Greenwood. And they
called a foul.
And now they get a timeout. Yeah. We'll keep it here, Steve. 5:34 to go in the third quarter. South Warren, they've gone from a 9-point lead to a 16-point lead in less than 2.5 minutes. And Bryce Button's hit a couple of threes. He's really done a nice job tonight. You could say he's been their best player tonight.
He has to step in a role to take Andrew Linhart's place tonight. He's looked really good. Solid shot.
You know, Steve, you don't see it right now. I'm just watching the South Warren huddle. I just love the way Coach Corrals coaches. Coach Q, he's a communicator. And what I like, his eyes, he's looking at every player, you know, communicating, you know, and he's a former elementary school teacher, Steve.
Yeah.
He was at Richardsville, is that right?
I believe so.
Yep. And as we mentioned, his coaching mentor is William Unseld, the outstanding head coach at Warren Central. They're close friends to this day. And great to see a guy get a head coaching opportunity like Coach Q. And if they maintain this lead and win, they're going to be 14-2. Steve, I wonder how hard it'll be for Coach Q to coach against Coach Unseld on Tuesday.
You know, I think it's a different kind of game, but you know, if I'm Coach Q, Coach Unseld is the mark I'm striving to become, and you know, that's a measuring stick.
South Warren with more good defense. They have the ball, and Andrew Goley has it out front. You know what, Steve? You can make a case. I think Goley might be South Warren's second best player in this game tonight.
You're right.
He's had a nice game. They go inside to Rowe. Nice pat.
Good ball movement.
Oh, wow. Got a foul. I just love the passing there, Steve. Very unselfish.
Really good ball movement.
Rowe with a good pass. Button with a good pass. Paris will get a couple of free throws after he was fouled on the inside shot attempt. You can tell the chemistry on this South Warren team is really good. You can tell the players, they communicate. They really enjoy playing with each other. First free throw is good. And the Spartans are leading 36-19. I think even the bigger story, you mentioned it, Steve. You know, if you told me before the game with 4:51 to go in the third quarter, Greenwood would only have 19 points, I wouldn't have believed you, and that's a credit to the South Warren defense.
Well, that's what we like to see out of Pettis.
Yeah.
I mean, he can get to the rim. It's a nice-looking drive. He just got fouled. Foul committed outside before the shot.
As a result, Greenwood will inbound after the foul on the Spartans. Oh, boy. You can say it, Steve.
Turnover.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Unforced.
Oh. Coach McCoy trying to encourage his team, but, boy, that's just kind of run out of words to describe it, Steve. Yeah. 36-19, 4:33 to go in the third quarter. Nice pass inside. That's nice. Button with the nice inside pass to Brandon Rowe, and Rowe was fouled. He'll go to the line for 2 shots. Steve, what do you think of this South Warren team?
Listen, you know, they had great chemistry when we saw them before. They play really well together. They play hard. You know, they have some size on them, too. You know, they're not a small team. They play quick. They have quick hands. They pass the ball very well.
One thing I've noticed tonight, Steve, compared to when we saw him in early December, and again, I'll qualify this, Andrew Linhart's not playing. It seems like there have not been as many players playing tonight for the Spartans compared to. Yep. And here we go.
He's playing about 7 or 8.
Yep. Brandon Rowe is going to go to the line for 2 more free throws. And again, Steve, we talked about this. Brandon Rowe does not take bad shots. He doesn't force things. Very unselfish player. And he goes to the line. That was a little bit long. 4:12 to go in the third quarter. South Warren has dominated the early part of this third quarter.
Hardest back in.
Yep. I think Coach McCoy, he saw what Breyer did in the early part in a short burst, and he's hoping that maybe he can give him some positive energy again. Both free throws no good, so it's 38-19 South Warren. That shot is no. And here come the Spartans. Pass up court to Posey. Wow. All Spartans, 40-19 over the Gators. There's Simpson. No. Goes out of bounds. And South Warren's going to sub in Wells Bratcher and Drew Hudson. Coming out, Justin Posey and Braden Paris. And South Warren led by 9 at the half, and they've already extended their lead to 19. Rowe brings it back out, gets it over to Drew Hudson. Rowe takes it over, kicks it over to Bratcher. Nice pass by Bratcher. Strong drive by Button, but it won't go. Briar Hardis with the rebound. Ball is deflected by goalie out of bounds. Steve, I'm certainly not trying to be mean-spirited at all. Again, being very positive. I'm just stunned that Greenwood hasn't even hit the 20-point mark.
Right.
And we're more than halfway through the third quarter. And I don't know. It just seems like right now every pass in their half-court offense is being contested.
Yeah, it's partly just a lack of ability to sink the shot and good defense on South Warren's. You know, they're getting the rebounds that they weren't getting earlier, but their second shots aren't falling either. And, you know, it's step one is to get the rebound, but step two is to get that second shot to fall. You know, that's a couple steps a little bit farther back than that shot probably needs to happen.
Spartans with the ball. That's Bryce Button. Good rebound there by Wells Bratcher. He gets, what a great defensive play by Lofton Howard. Very nice.
Way to snag that right out of the air.
And they're going to get a contact foul, non-shooting. You know, Coach McCoy, I think, is just trying to find some kind of a spark with his substitution. He's bringing Chaz Huff in, the freshman. Maybe he can give him a spark.
Well, and at this point, you know, you're down by 21.
Why not?
Give the kid some minutes. Give him some experience. He's the future at point guard probably, or at least in the backcourt.
Why not? Yeah. There's Lofton Howard, and he gets the basket off the inbounds pass. Maybe
that's a nice inbound pass from Huff.
Yeah. Maybe that'll get the Gators started. I do wonder, Steve, how much longer the Gators can stay in this zone. South Warren has done a nice job attacking the Greenwood defense. There's Luke Smith. That's going to be a blocking foul on Hardis. And Brady Clark is about to check in. Again, I think Coach McCoy's substitutions, he's just looking for something. Some kind of a spark, some type of energy infusion.
Well, let me tell you, he's really gone big now.
He really has.
I mean, he's got the triple towers in.
He has.
Go back to our NBA days.
We got a timeout here. We'll keep it right here, Steve. It's 40-21. Steve, the good side for Greenwood, they still have a ton of time to get back into this game. There's 2:08 to go in the third quarter. They're down 19, but outside,
they're not making any progress. That's the real issue. You know, they score a basket, South Warren scores a basket, maybe two baskets.
And Steve, I'll be honest. I don't know about you. I thought this game would be more competitive tonight.
I did too. I thought both games we would have tonight would be very competitive. And unfortunately, from the Greenwood side, it hasn't been.
Again, long ways to go, but the Gators have a lot of ground to make up. They're down 19.
You know,
and go ahead, Steve.
If I'm South Warren right now, I'm noticing that Greenwood has one true ball handler on the court with Huff, and then Stansberry, who's a pretty good ball handler himself. But other than that, they have no ball handlers on the court. And from the standpoint of offense, you know, Huff can hit the outside shot. There's a nice shot by South Warren. But Stansberry could be the only offense on the court right now.
Basket by goalie after the nice pass to goalie. I believe Posey made the pass. No, check that. It was Brandon Rowe. 42-21.
So you're basically saying right here, Stansberry or Huff, one is going to take a jump shot.
Yep. They're going to get a foul. It's a pushing foul, and it's on Brandon Rowe. Now, Steve, that's 3 fouls on Rowe.
Right. Not going to make a difference.
Okay.
Because to be honest with you, Buttons hurt him more tonight from the outside.
You're right. And again, I think he's been the best player tonight for South Warren on a team that's had about 4 or 5 players play really well. Briar Hardis.
Oh, nice looking turnaround.
I'll tell you what, Steve, the 2 games I've seen him play,
he's a sleeper.
He does good things for Coach McCoy. And like you said, he's just a wonderful young man, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, 42-23. I think a couple of moments ago, Steve gave a hint that he has some doubts that there's a comeback in the cards for the Gators. Well, in all seriousness, they just haven't done anything to,
I mean, that's where my kids go to school. I'd love to say they're going to come back, but they're down by 19, and they're not making much headway.
Nope.
South Warren has not stopped scoring. Granted, there's been a little drought here, but they're not going to stop scoring. That at 42 isn't their point total for this game.
No. Drew Hudson with the ball gets it back over to Andrew Goley. There's Luke Smith. Pass, and that's
not a good pass.
Steve, that's one of those cross-court passes. They're so dangerous, so risky. They got away with it. Posey down low.
Good defense.
Yep, clean block, and here comes Stansberry.
Is that Clark on the block that time?
Yes, it was. And, well, I think, guess what happened there, Steve?
Turnover.
Yeah. Now, Greenwood thought there was some contact there, but the officials didn't agree, and that's the bottom line. So we're down to the final 30 seconds of the third quarter, and South Warren has the ball, leading by 19 by a score of 42-23. Mike Cleff, Steve Sanders with the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. And the Spartans, by all indications, holding for the final shot. Rowe has checked back into the game for this final shot. Goalie. There's the shot attempt. Wow. Drew Hudson beats the buzzer with the 3. It's been that kind of a night for the Spartans, Steve. So we will take a break after 3 quarters. The Spartans are dominating. They're leading the Gators 45-23. We'll have more basketball on the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives. It's saving lifetimes.
Welcome back to South Warren High School. After 3 quarters, the Spartans leading the Gators 45-23, and Stephen, an understatement, that third quarter performance by South Warren was mighty impressive.
Right, that last shot to end the third quarter, that was a tough pill to swallow for Greenwood.
So, Steve, now I tell you, I'm really curious how these 2 matchups coming up next week between the Spartans and the Dragons of Warren Central are going to go. That's going to be mighty interesting. And
we're going to learn a lot about our district that night.
We certainly are.
Probably learn a little bit tonight with Warren Central Bowling Green matchup.
Yep. We'll try to get you a updated score on that Warren Central Bowling Green game. We start the fourth quarter. South Warren with the ball. Rowe in the lane, gets it out to goalie. There's Rowe again. Nice pass. Luke Smith goes up with it. Wow. I tell you what, Steve, South Warren's unselfishness is really impressive.
Right.
Steve, after 3 quarters, Warren Central has stretched out the lead to Bowling Green to 12. They lead 42-30. But I tell you, Steve, this South Warren team's legit. They are legit.
Hardis with a great rebound and putback. That's 6 for him. He may be our secondary scorer. He may be the primary scorer at this point.
I tell you what, Steve, he's earning himself more. I mean, there's a reason he started the fourth quarter. I think Coach McCoy is going to get him more playing time, and that's a good move. They're going to get a foul there on Greenwood. Both teams are in the bonus. I believe that's the 6th foul, so the next, both teams are in the bonus, so it'll be 1-1 for each team from here on out. They're going to go to Drew Hudson, in and out. Got a good look at it. 47-25. Spartans are leading the Gators with 6:46 to go in the game. And there is Zach Davis inside to Hardis. Wow. How did that not go in? That was halfway down. Yeah. Okay, so Brandon Rowe gets it over to Luke Smith. He's being guarded by Garrett Hatcher, gets it to Rowe, and they're going to get a foul there on Zach Davis. And so Brandon Rowe will go to the line for a 1-and-1. Steve, I'll just say this. What I've seen, Warren Central is a better team than South Warren, but I think South Warren is legitimately good.
Right.
And I'm really looking forward to those two games next week. As Rowe will shoot the first of a 1-and-1. It doesn't go in. Stansberry with the rebound. Steve, I can't remember the last time Stansberry scored.
It was those 2 3-pointers.
Wow.
And then that one. We need to call him out a lot. At least help Greenwood's cause.
Yeah. How many times has that happened tonight?
It's 3 times.
Oh, man.
Twice with him and once with Rowe.
Yeah. 47-28. Luke Smith's going to go to the line for a 1-and-1 for the Spartans. South Warren leading Greenwood by 19. And that's the one area that South Warren has struggled at tonight, Steve, is the free throw line. They get it over to Simpson. 3. Yes. Well, they got it back.
At this point, if I'm Coach McCoy, I want to see if my kids got fight in them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hudson, I don't know if that's the shot Coach Q wanted, but they get the offensive rebound. Smith gets it over to goalie.
You know, you look at your team. Are they going to give up? Are they going to go home? Are they going to continue to fight till the buzzer?
That's a great point. And Justin Posey connects on the 3 ball from the corner. It's 50-31. Stansberry up again. There you go.
He's heating up.
Yep. 50-34. South Warren leading with 5:15 to go in the game. Some contact there. They don't call it, but now they're going to get a foul. Now, let's see. They called on Stansberry. Rowe will go to the line.
Not the worst thing. Rowe struggled from the line tonight.
Yeah.
He just can't afford for Stansberry to get in foul trouble.
That's his 2nd foul, so it's fortunately for Greenwood, that's not an issue. Rowe will have a 1-and-1, and South Warren's in the double bonus the rest of the way. There he got the first. Rowe will go to the line for a 2nd free throw and try to extend the Spartans' lead back up to 18. It's no good, and Luke Smith with a good rebound. He's going to go to the line for 2 free throws. Good effort there by Smith. I don't know what they list Luke Smith at, Steve, but on a free throw attempt.
How did he out-rebound the
yes.
6'4" and 6'5" Greenwood players?
Yeah.
I think that's what really the problem has been tonight is, just not playing up to your height or your potential.
So true. 5:08 to go in the game. As Smith hits the 2nd free throw, and the Spartans are leading 53-34. Stansberry, who's hit a couple of threes here in the last minute, goes for another one. That one's off the mark, though. Here comes Smith. He's going to get it over to Hudson. And Drew gets it back over to Smith. And now they'll get it over to Justin Posey. Inside to Bryce Button, who's had a strong game. Good block there.
Defense by Clark.
Yep. There's Smith. Yes. And that three-pointer gives South Warren a 56-34 lead. 4.5 minutes left. Davis with the drive and lay-in. It's 56-36. But the Spartans with a comfortable lead.
Again, Greenwood's making a few more shots, but South Warren's not going away. They're continuing to make more shots also.
Yeah.
So it's hard to make any inroads in that lead when they're still making their shots.
Posey's three ball had a good look there. It's a little bit long, but the Spartans get the long rebound. Smith will try it again. No. And this time Stansbury with the rebound. And they're going to get a blocking foul.
You've got to let him come down.
Yeah. They call that on Luke Smith, and Stansbury will go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. You're right, Steve. He's got to have the right to come down. Coach Q has no issue with that call. He's asking for an explanation, and again, good officiating there, just off camera there. Just in my time with Carlos Corrals, he's not a yeller and screamer with the officiating, and he certainly isn't going to get a technical at this point in the game. So free throw is no good, and South Warren has the ball under 4 minutes left. They have a 20-point lead. And that ball is going to be an over and back. So Greenwood will get the ball.
Coach Q's going to have more to say about that than the other foul.
Yep. And you know this, Steve, with Coach Corrals. He does not want sloppy play here in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds going into those two games against Warren Central. Okay, Stansbury hits a three. It's 56-39. And here come the Spartans. Smith takes it down. Gets it back to Hudson. He'll try a three. Yep. Drew Hudson puts the lead back up to 20. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, his dad is the longtime great volleyball coach at WKU, and congratulations on Coach Hudson and WKU volleyball once again getting to the NCAA tournament. So many great things his dad does with the volleyball program. Graduation rate's 100%. Anyone that runs into any of his student athletes, they're wonderful representatives of the university. Has a great coaching staff. And I've known Drew since he was in 6th grade. He's a quality young man. His older brother, Tyler, was a standout golfer for South Warren boys golf team. And they've got a wide open, oh boy, Drew Hudson he was all alone under the basket.
He had visions of something down there.
Okay, under 3 minutes to go. And Greenwood gets the steal. Looks like they got Hunter Haycraft in the game. They also have Ryan Troutman in the game. So Coach McCoy getting some younger guys in the game, as they have Trey Stivers.
Coach Q's going to get some of his bench in.
Yep. So here comes Deshaun Bridges. Yep, he saw Will McCoy sub, and he's going to do the same. Also checking in will be Griffin Rarden. I'm really happy to see this, Steve, seeing some of the guys who don't play a lot getting some game action. Also coming in, Cameron Bell. Let me see here. Yep. Deshaun Bridges, Cameron Bell, Jace Jarvis, Griffin Rarden, and I'm missing someone here, Steve. Steve, does South Warren only have 4 players in the game? Now they got 5. Yeah.
Here comes number 5.
Okay, that number 12 they list as Easton Jointer, and that is not Easton Jointer. I don't know who the young man is. I apologize. But glad to see him in the game. And then for Greenwood, Hunter Haycraft, Chaz Huff, Ryan Troutman, Trey Stivers, And, Steve, I think the other one in there, I don't know who number 30 is for Greenwood. So when we find out, I'll let you know. Wow. That brought the house down. Yeah. Jace Jarvis with the 3. So this game's been decided. South Warren's going to win, but again, this is great to see these young men getting this opportunity. This is tremendous. And great moves by both coaches. Coach McCoy brought his reserves in. Coach Corals responded right away and brought his in. And make no mistake, Steve, these young men out on the court right now, they're auditioning for more playing time.
Nice drive.
Yeah, that was nice.
Tough out there for Greenwood, and he does have quite a bit of experience. He weathered the storm with Warren Central. So.
Yep. We have 2:02 left in the game. Banked in free throw. Again, I apologize. They don't have number 30 listed, so I'm sorry. I don't know that young man's name. He made a free throw. It's 62-42. That's Cameron Bell with the rebound. And again, I don't know who number 12 on South Warren is. If I happen to find out his name, I'll pass along, so I apologize. He's dribbling out front, and he gets it over to Griffin Rardon. Jace Jarvis, who moments ago hit a 3. Wow. Steve, they've got some guys off the bench that can shoot the 3. The home fans are loving it. South Warren's going to go to 14-2 on the season. Greenwood will be 5-13. Again, this is a young Greenwood team. They're going to learn from this. 65-42. Shot there. Good shot there by Ryan Troutman. 65-44. We're nearing the 1-minute mark left in the game. South Warren's going to win both games of this doubleheader. The girls' team won 56-43. The boys' team leading 65-44. We have 50 seconds left in the game. Troutman gets it over to Stivers, over to Haycraft. A little bit short. He'll get his own miss. And another shot attempt there, no. And number 12 gets the rebound for South Warren. Again, I apologize. I don't know his name. So I wanted to give that young man some recognition, and I apologize. There's the steal by Haycraft. He's taking it up court. He's going to go to the line for 2 free throws. We have 21.3 seconds left. South Warren leading 65-45. A lot of the fans have stuck around for the end of the game, and that's great to see. Haycraft makes the first free throw. And we're just 21.3 seconds away from wrapping this game up. Haycraft, second one won't go, but the rebound there. And, you know,
there
good for
go.
Troutman.
Yeah.
Good effort there.
Get your name on the stat line.
Yeah.
Show some effort.
Yep. Troutman gets the hoop. He's going to go to the line to try to complete the three-point play. And he does that. It's 65-49. And they're going to get a foul, and that young man's going to go to the line for a couple of free throws. Let me see if they say his name. And they don't. That one's no good. And he'll try one more free throw. There you go. There you go. Nicely done. And it looks like Greenwood's just going to dribble this out. Coach McCoy told him to dribble it out. And Greenwood's going to win this second game 66-49. And both teams will shake hands. So, Steve, to say the least, a very good night for the South Warren girls and boys basketball team.
Absolutely. Tough night for the Greenwood boys and girls.
Well, I'll ask you this again, Steve. Let's start with Coach Corals. if you're him, what did you see from your team that you liked, and what did they need to work on heading into the games against Warren Central?
Well, I mean, I think you have to like their overall effort. They played well together. Their passing was very good. They let Stansbury get some three-pointers off there down the stretch. I'm sure they'd like to shore up that three-point defense. But overall, I think I think he's pleased with it. What they end up with 65 points, 66 points. That's not a bad point total.
Yep.
If you're Greenwood, you're kind of still trying to find that scoring, and it was a really tough scoring night. They just Stansbury ended up with 12, 13, somewhere in there.
That seems like thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. I think that bless their heart, they had extra hot dogs and they gave me one, so thank you. Well, Steve, on you mentioned the Greenwood side.
They've got to find some scoring.
They do. I mean, Steve, we were halfway through the third quarter and they didn't even have 20 points yet.
Right. In our district and our region, that's not going to win ball games.
An update on the Warren Central Bowling Green boys basketball game. Just under 6.5 minutes left in the game. Warren Central's leading Bowling Green 44-30. And Steve, again, I'll go back in regards to Greenwood. You are. Go ahead, Steve. You want to say hi to one of my colleagues, bus driver Rose Wheat. Greenwood is an extremely young team. Now, they had 3 seniors tonight that played a lot. 2 of them started, Luke Stansbury, Lofton Howard, and Briar Hardis. But Will McCoy plays a lot of players off the bench. And did that – what's – okay. I just – thank you very much. I just learned that number 12 on South Warren was Ty Grogan. And I want to thank Rose Wheat for giving that information along. Rose, one of my colleagues with Warren County Public Schools, one of the great bus drivers, and appreciate her efforts very much. And she's a fixture at South Warren games. Steve, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really –
that young man to get his name. He
absolutely
came in, he played hard, scored a point.
Yep.
Handled the ball, and he deserved to get his name announced on air.
Yep, absolutely. We could not find out number 30 on Greenwood, and so I apologize on that.
We might be on the wrong side to ask that.
Yeah, so Steve, go back to Greenwood. Again, I don't want to be – would it be safe would it be safe to say if I'm Coach McCoy tonight, I'm disappointed?
I thought it was a – Greenwood should have been a little better matchup for South Warren, but credit South Warren. I mean, they had a game plan. Both teams had a game plan, but South Warren executed theirs a whole lot better. There were stretches in that second half that Greenwood rebounded a little better. I'll tell you, Briar Hardis gave Coach McCoy some really good minutes. I want to say that Hardis and Stansbury probably scored close to half of Greenwood's points. We know that Hardis had six somewhere in there, and Stansbury had 12 to 15, and that would have come out to about half.
I'll tell you what, Steve, I would not be surprised, and you can agree or disagree with me, is moving forward if Briar Hardis starts to earn a lot more minutes.
Right. I mean, he should. That's where the production's coming from right now. Now, I don't know what it's like in practice or all, but I mean, when he's out there on the court, he's giving everything he's got, and it's paying off.
All right, we're about ready to call tonight. Steve, it's been an absolute blast. Before we leave you, we'll run down our schedule next week. Hope everyone has a wonderful holiday on Monday, honoring the late Dr. Martin Luther King, MLK Day. Our school district will have some programs regarding that very special holiday. And then Tuesday, we'll be at Warren Central, a boys game between the Spartans right here at South Warren and the Dragons of Warren Central. As I mentioned, with under 6.5 minutes to go tonight, the Dragons are leading Bowling Green by 14. That game Tuesday will start at 7 p.m. Then Steve and I will change up, and we will be over at the Aquatic Center which is
We'll bring my flippers and water wings. I'm ready to go.
That's right.
We'll get an underwater camera, get some good shots.
And again, bear with us because this is the first live stream
Right.
of swimming, and we're excited about that. And there's some things that we're kind of going to learn on the fly there, and we look forward to that. And then next Friday, we'll be back here at South Warren for a boys-girls basketball doubleheader between the host Lady Spartans and the Dragons and Lady Dragons of Warren Central. So South Warren and Warren Central boys basketball will face each other twice in a span of 3 days. Steve, the floor is yours. If there's any more comments, otherwise we can call it a night.
Let's pack up the bus, my friend, and head to the house.
All right. For Steve Sanders, I'm Mike Cleff. You've been watching and listening to the Warren County Public Schools Sports Network. As always, thank you very much to Prep Spin and CEO William Warfield. He's also the co-owner of Prep Spin. Appreciate it very much. Thanks to our leadership, Superintendent Rob Clayton, Chief Operations Officer Jason Cupchella, and Chief Financial Officer Chris McIntyre. For Steve Sanders, I'm Mike Cleff. Have a great night. Be safe, and we'll see you again on Tuesday night.